Hey, podcast listeners. Dana here. Can I let you guys in on a little secret? Just between us. We like all of you much, much more than the folks that listen live. But no matter how, when, or where you check out the Hams podcast, we got to give thanks to our friends at Standard Heating for making it all possible. It's been a pretty tame winter so far, but we know well enough that we're not out of the woods yet. So hit up standardheating.com to get them out to your house to make sure your furnace is tuned up to do all of the furnace-y types of things it's supposed to do. I'm still learning the lingo. Make that appointment today. Become a Smart Club member like me. That's standardheating.com. Enjoy the show.
The 93X Half-Assed Morning Show. 93.
Yeah. I'm up. We got to get going again here on the 93X Half-Assed Morning Show. Good crowd out there. Eventually, we're going to thaw out around here, Josh. We're only a couple of days away from cruising on up to the 40s.
No way.
Yeah.
It sounds like a dream.
Yes,
I was
maybe.
reading yesterday we might get some record warmth next week.
Speaking of cruising to the 40s, that sounds like fun. You and me in a motor vehicle cruising around town to the top hits of the 1940s.
I'd be into that for sure.
Some Bing Crosby, Glenn Miller Orchestra, maybe the Chattanooga Choo Choo.
I like that kind of music.
All right, I'll admit sometimes right away when the show begins, sometimes I can come off a little weird. I apologize.
I don't know if I'm coming off like any different today. I mean, probably more cool than usual. And that's because as of 11 a.m. yesterday, I'm a bachelor.
All right.
KOD, here we come.
Let's roll.
No, she won't let me even
Yeah,
if she's out of town. I can't.
She's going to check their credit card statements.
Yeah, I can't go to KO. I got a secret credit card just for that, Dana.
Nice KOD credit card.
So the wife left town again.
Yeah, she...
This is happening more often. There was a time where you never caught a break, but tell me if I'm wrong.
Caught a break.
Tell me if I'm wrong, because we've known each other for what now, pert near 30 years.
Mm-hmm.
There was, where was I going with this? Only in the last couple of years has your wife begun this I'm a traveler gimmick now, and she goes on vacations without you. It's becoming more common. I'm happy for you, because you were trapped, the two of you, for decades.
Well, I don't look at it that way. But
You
yeah,
don't?
I don't enjoy travel, and I think my wife always has. Her mom, I mean, she goes on, I'm going to say, maybe 13, 14 trips a year. Maybe even more.
Your mother-in-law.
Yeah, her mom.
Retired lady.
Yeah, but even before that. So they traveled all the time.
Oh.
She loves to travel. My wife loves to travel, and I've always been like the anchor in the, I'm holding her back. Like, I just don't like to go, and she didn't like to go if I didn't. I mean, it's my youngest is actually kind of screwed in certain ways, because with the bigger kids, we used to go, nothing real exotic, but, like go up north here and there, stay at a place.
Sure.
Yeah, which is, that's fun, but I don't even really do that anymore. So, yeah, she's decided, you know what, I'm going to ditch this loser and start going on some trips. And this is like one of two she's got planned in the next couple months.
So your wife has always enjoyed traveling. You held her back from that for quite a stretch of time, and now she's gotten her groove back, and she's running around town with her mother?
Yeah.
She goes on trips?
They've never done that before. They've never had a mother-daughter trip.
Where are they going?
Palm Springs.
Never heard of it. Where is that?
I don't know. I had to look it up.
Yeah, I've never heard of Palm Springs.
Palm Springs.
Okay. Well, great. What are you... I'm not even going to ask. I was going to ask, what are you going to do? Because when we've played this game before, when your wife has left town and we've said, what are you going to do with your freedom, you usually say, nothing.
That's usually how it goes.
Yeah.
And that was kind of the plan. Butcher's Hack Jesus said sandwiches over the sink time. Yep, that was dinner last night, eating right over the sink.
Nice.
My brother and me and my youngest, we're going to go bowling. I think that's the plan so far.
That sounds
That's a
great.
good time.
The bowling is, as I think I stated again a day or two ago, one of my favorite things in the world. Well, there
right
you go.
before KOD.
Yeah, now we're talking.
You're not going to go to KOD.
No, not even gonna travel that far east.
I remember one time, though, when we were there together.
Yeah, that was a long time ago.
It was. And you were in love.
Yeah, you know what?
You fell in love.
The more I think about that night and the love, that was Do you think that was more one-sided, where I was more into her than she was into me, the stripper? Is it possible that that's maybe I'm?
It's typically not the case.
With time, maybe I'm misremembering it, but
Yes, I do think that it was a one-sided. The emotions involved were all yours. I'm sorry to tell you, Josh.
you don't think that stripper was into me?
I don't.
I think she was into your fat wallet.
Josh never spent a dime. It was the night was on me. Yeah, sorry to say. Yeah, I don't think that she felt as strongly about you as you did about her. But that was one hell of a fun night.
That was a fun night.
I don't know why the two of us were there because, I mean, anyone could tell you why I was there. That was just my thing for many years. But can you explain why you were there? Because that's never been your jam to go and see completely nude 22-year-old women do backflips while binge drinking.
I don't know. Why were we? Were we at like
It was
maybe
not a
Jersey's or something? Or were we at a bar beforehand?
It was not a bachelor party. I think that's what it was. I think we were across the street over there
Yeah.
at Jersey's because I used to hold down a bar gig there for
I bet that's what it was. I bet I came out to see it at the bar gig.
That was the night you had the nightmare blind date.
Was that same night? Oh, yeah, we ditched her. That's right. Well,
That was
I
the
take
night.
That, okay, we didn't ditch her. We just decided this is over. Okay, I forgot that part. So I fell in love just once that night, and it wasn't with the girl that I started the evening with.
Right.
That's right. Oh, that was terrible.
Josh had an absolute nightmare blind date. You were desperate just to go anywhere and feel comfortable. This blind date made you feel so uncomfortable and afraid even. Is that a safe word to use?
Yeah.
Afraid? This woman was so off her rocker. Josh was uncomfortable and afraid and needed just to go anywhere where you could feel comfortable again. So he drove with this woman all the way from, am I accurate here? Buffalo,
That's
Minnesota.
Where she was from, yep. Or she was a teacher. I was working earlier in the day. There was like a job fair for high school kids.
Now we're talking.
And so I was at this job fair working for the station, and these kids come over to me. They're like, hey, our teacher wants to talk to you. And I thought they were messing with me. But that wasn't the case. And she came over and was like, hey, I'd love to go on a date at some point.
Okay.
So I was saying, oh, why not? She was attractive enough.
Enough.
She was attractive-ish.
Well, what's wrong with that?
And I thought,
some
sure.
people are attractive. Some people are attractive enough.
Yeah, just enough.
Yeah.
She made the cut.
Hell, I'm not picky.
Yeah, me neither.
Yeah.
And so I thought, well, how fun would this be? And so I decided, hey, you know what? There's this Green Day concert coming up.
Green Day.
I'll see if she wants to go to that. And she did.
Also, that evening, the two of you attended the Green Day concert.
Well, no, that was mistake number one. So I find out on the way there, I had the wrong date.
Right.
I screwed it up.
You pick her up preparing to go to the Green Day show, and sometime after you picked her up, you realize those peckerheads aren't even in town tonight.
And I told her, I said, I'm sorry, we're not going to go see Trey Cool this evening.
Oh.
I had the wrong night. And so we decided, and Beard Jesus, by the way, my goodness, thank you for listening so long. It's been a while since we told the story. Because he remembers this. We went to a restaurant, and I, we were getting ready to order. I'm like, are you good to go? She's like, oh, I don't eat. So that's
crazy.
where I realized I might be in a weird spot. And I'm like,
She doesn't eat.
so I'm like, you mean at this time of night?
In front of people?
Yeah, right. On dates? She's like, no, I just don't eat.
She doesn't eat.
And I couldn't get past it. I'm like, wait, you're saying you don't eat at all? You don't eat? Like, that's kind of what you have to do to survive. No, I don't eat. I'm like, all right then. So at this point,
Possibly a cyborg.
and I'm like, well, I do. Do you mind if I do?
Right.
I'm freaking starving.
Yeah.
So I ate, and then I'm like, God, what are we going to do? And I remembered you were at Jersey's. Was it a Metallica tribute act?
I don't remember why. I had a fairly regular gig there on Friday nights for a stretch of time.
Yeah.
So I was just there for a 93X promotion. So
I call you and I say, hey, is it cool if can I
Code
hang
red,
out?
you said.
Yeah.
Code red.
Would you be cool if I came out with this date? It's not going well. There's no chemistry whatsoever.
Right.
I'm doing my best, and she's giving me nothing. She's like, also, I don't talk very much.
Oh.
I mean, honestly, if Ashton Kutcher had started making that show Punked, I would have thought I was on punk.
He just hops out of your trunk.
Yeah, it was weird. So we go there, and remember, I'm like, hey, can I get you something to drink? Do you want to go watch the band? Whatever. And she just wanted to sit there and do nothing.
Oh, this is so many years ago, but it was a hell of an adventure. I probably, looking back, I probably shouldn't have taken her into the men's room and had sex with her that evening.
I'm glad you did, because I don't think she was having any fun until then.
Yeah, so to come full circle, that night, horrible blind date for Cubby, travels clear across the entire metro area.
Yeah, that's a good hour
in
drive.
order to find comfort, from Buffalo all the way to, they call the town Invergrove Heights down there.
Yep.
Where, to come full circle, the reason that you then later that same evening fell in love with a stripper at King of Diamonds is because that blind date had made you feel so vulnerable and uncomfortable and all of those things. You were the last guy I expected to say cheesy things to a stripper.
Yeah, I'm still a little ashamed of that.
It's okay. Everyone's done this. You're likely the only guy that's done this sober. Plenty of guys, and I'll explain what I mean by done this. Plenty of guys have done this when drunk. You are likely the only one who has done it sober. And what I'm referring to is, you really liked this gal.
I did.
And how could you not? She was completely naked and 23 years old, and we were young guys at the time. You were just enamored by this gal who worked at KOD.
How did
and hang on a second, Wapple. What I'm referring to when I've been saying done this, what Josh did, and it's a classic move. Josh kind of said, is this really the life for you? Are you happy doing this?
What an idiot.
I'd like to, could I be the guy that kind of takes you away from all this?
How demeaning. I didn't even mean to be. That was stupid.
Of course you didn't mean to be. You were a little nervous. You really liked her. You thought she was gorgeous. You weren't meaning to be demeaning, or if that's the word you use. Is that what the word you use?
I think I used
You were
that
just
word.
being sweet and offering to, you assumed that she was young and in trouble or whatever. So, but, that routine is very common. I just didn't expect it from you being stone cold sober.
No, and I was hoping that part wouldn't come up, but I think about that sometimes, like, oh God, what was I thinking?
I know you always hate that part of the story, but trust me,
feeling pretty vulnerable.
Damn near every guy's done it.
And go ahead.
How did the blind date get home?
We don't know, and we don't care.
I'm trying to remember that myself. Maybe
Not their problem, Waffle.
Maybe she was with us. Because,
I
joked that we ditched her, but we didn't, ditch her or anything. So maybe she...
I have no memory of her being with us at the Boom Boom Room. Who knows?
Yeah, I don't remember.
It's a long ways to get home when you drove. Ooh-wee.
But we had some fun over at King of Diamonds. Boy, we used to go there quite a bit. I know you didn't go. I used to go.
Yeah,
and now you've got
one and only time I've ever been there.
You've got another shot with the wife out of town. It ain't going to happen, but you could if you wanted to without any repercussions.
And it's funny, my desire just to stay. Now, really, I don't like leaving my zip code. It's amazing I come here. Mm-hmm. And Fun Size Jesus points out that I live in the bordering city to Invergrove Heights, and it's still too far of a drive for me.
That's a good point.
Not interesting. I leased my vehicle, and I really shouldn't have got so many miles. I'm way on. I'm probably like half of what I should be here.
You bring it back, you're like, did you even drive this?
Like, this thing's not even dirty yet.
I embarrassed myself with a stripper one night. This was at the old, how did they call it? They called it the 22nd Street Station.
I've never even heard of that.
Double
Is that
Deuce.
Minneapolis? Oh, the Double Deuce. Okay, I've heard that.
Northeast Minneapolis.
Double Deuce, I've heard that.
We used to like to duck in there now and again. And I went up to the front row. Sniffer's row, they call it. I've always kind of hoped for a better term for that, and it's never come about. Sniffer's row.
I like it.
The first time I heard it, I thought it was pretty funny, but disgusting at the same time.
Yeah, I've always hoped that it would evolve into something else, and it never happened. But this is something I'm going to have to get over on my own. I'm up there in the front row, had a few beers in me, fell in love with the girl on stage, just like Josh did at King of Diamonds. This was, I don't know how many years ago. Rambo had just come out. Not 1982 Rambo.
The one that was just called Rambo?
Yes.
Oh, so good.
Yes. Well, 2007, 6.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe it doesn't matter, but
that was so good.
It does play into the story. So they had just upped and released that Rambo movie. And I'm in love with the girl on stage.
All right, 2008.
2008.
Yeah.
And she's got the big fat heels on, right? And she's doing that stomp bit where she can spread her legs so far open that her heels, boom, stomp on the stage at her side. Almost like she's transformed herself into a spider. You know what I'm talking about?
Yep.
She's doing that bit right in my mug, right there in front of me. And I said to myself, now's the time to ask her when she's in that spider position with her legs fully spread. And I say, would you go see Rambo with me?
It's so nice of you to ask.
Right? And then she takes her legs again and puts them back in a normal position. And then again, she does the wide spread thing with the big heels go boom on the stage. And she looks in my eyes and says, no.
Well, okay, you don't like Sniffer's Row.
No.
Here's some other suggestions for the brothers
Go
and
ahead.
sisters.
Please. It's been decades that this has been the only term for the front row at the Boom Boom. There's got to be something better than Sniffer's Row. We're not in 6th grade anymore. What do you got?
How about the meat seats? The splash zone. Shoot, there's another one.
I see pink eye pasture.
That's it, pink eye pasture.
Oh, jeez.
All right, so maybe Sniffer's Row is the best option we have.
Pink eye. That's what you get at the Double Deuce, that's for sure. The pink eye, that's how you get that kind of thing.
Nick, your experience at the Double Deuce, did they have the dancers just be performing on a billiards table that had plywood over it?
No, they had a stage.
Okay.
Why, were you there once when the stage was under construction or something?
Must have been. One of the few times I was there, I remember they had a pool table and they had plywood over it, and that's where the ladies were dancing.
Well, there you go, because I do remember
Sketchy.
once or twice during that bar's run, I do remember once or twice where they remodeled this and that, and they must have had to close the stage for a while, but still wanted to make a few bucks with the ladies. Gal dancing on a pool table with plywood, I mean, still gave you the same little bone ski, didn't it?
Well, yeah, we were mad at it.
Yeah, you're still all right with that.
Is the Choice still around? Did you ever go to the Choice back in?
Yes.
That's still there?
Oh, I have no idea. I don't think so.
Wild. That place was wild.
Oh, God, that was so many years ago.
Short but fat Jesus said, hey, tell Ashley to cover the baby's ears. Yeah, you know what?
I saw that. That's cute.
If you haven't heard, Ashley announced, Friday on social media and then Tuesday on the show that she's pregnant. And we're going to have to start covering the baby's ears, aren't we? For some of these conversations.
Yeah, he doesn't need to hear this kind of stuff.
Gynecology Row. Instead of Sniffer's Row.
Yeah.
You know, you folks are trying your best, and I appreciate that. That's all we ever ask around here is that you give your best effort to replace the term that's always given me the willies, Sniffer's Row.
Lippy's Lane. Come on.
We're not calling it Lippy's Lane.
And by the way, hey, thank you for the support. People are telling me, don't worry about it. They've been in that same spot where they fell in love with the stripper and maybe went a little overboard.
Hell yes, Josh. You are so far from alone in that friggin' category. I mean, all the time I used to spend at the Boom Boom. Jesus. Great times. Great times. You, how should I say this? That gal who you asked, if you could rescue her from her life as a stripper, trust me, during her time there, she heard 10, 20, 25 times worse than your little innocent offer to be her man.
100%.
This is going to come across as callous, but I hope she did. I hope she did.
Yes.
So I don't want to be the only one.
There's no way you're the only one.
Oh, man.
Especially if she's as gorgeous as you guys are describing her to be.
Let me
She
tell
was
you
something
something.
else.
Let me tell you something, Ashley. Wow, wee woo.
I wonder how she's doing now.
Oh, she'd be about 43 years old now.
Yeah, at least.
Seriously, she would be.
She would.
Oh, man. Yeah, they just got absolutely ass naked in the joint.
Yeah. Do they still?
Oh, yeah.
I'm guessing they do. It's been a
It's
while.
behind glass, right? Isn't it?
No!
No.
No.
No!
Oh, no.
Are you like vaginas?
Wow.
Yeah.
There
Right
was
there.
there was no glass.
I thought it. Okay, maybe I missed. Obviously,
Bring up the whole show, man.
Yeah, one of my buddies, he was ordering chicken wings to Sniffers Row. So he was just eating buffalo wings up in Sniffers Row.
That's ridiculous. I love it.
You
but-
see, I like the food too, and I'm never afraid to eat at the strip joint. I've had people look at me sideways a few times. What are you ordering, a pizza? It's like, well, what the hell? I got to eat. You know,
the food's always good at a strip.
Oh, the
Always
food's
good.
great. I think it's funny that he was eating wings right on Sniffers Row.
Well,
yeah.
right. Wings
Not just
is
at like a
different.
back table or something.
Yeah, and at KOD, just everything out in the open.
There's nothing wrong with having wingy, or I don't know, a casserole or whatever you got in front of you there in the front row. I don't care where you're sitting. You got to eat, and the girls are clean. This is the dumbest question I've fielded in a long time from a listener. Do you guys remember Hunter from Rick's Cabaret? What did I get in a car wreck? Of course I
Duh.
remember Hunter from Rick's Cabaret.
You don't forget somebody like her.
Of course we remember Hunter. What about her?
I love her. What's she up to?
We got Hunter stories for sure. She's something else.
Huh. Sorry I blew up, listener who asked about Hunter, but of course we've got a relationship with Rick's Cabaret. Been there so many. Hunter and I have had some laughs over there. By God, we have. Here's a question for Josh on the stripper that he fell in love with. How big were her cans?
Stop it.
Talk about the cans.
I don't remember.
Did she,
Which
have,
seventh graders listening to the show and texting at this hour?
did she have a nice pooper? What about her cans?
I'm sorry, I don't remember.
Later
I
on-
didn't log it.
Oh, wow, she was hot. Later on, our special guest in studio will once again be Dr. Andrea Johnston from Gurman Animal Hospital. If you love your little silly house pet and you want to text in later this morning with a question about your animal for Dr. Andrea, by God, you can. We're going to visit with her around 8:20, 8:30 this morning, so be ready to send in your question right around then.
It is
a text message.
It is National Love Your Pet Day.
It is fitting.
Oh, isn't that
Perfect timing.
wonderful?
It's so cute and fitting that Dr. Andrea will be here today on National Love Your Pet Day.
I'll have to do something nice for them now.
Don't you do that anyway? You
Yeah.
really love your dogs.
Yeah, they run the household.
They do.
It's very clear.
Same thing in mine.
But they're so cute. What are you going to do?
Take it easy.
So cute.
Take it easy.
I got to have a talk with one of my dogs. Yesterday, he goosed me. We were cuddling. I was the small spoon, and his knee went right up the hole.
Gotcha?
He moved, and he got me right up the beehole.
Ouch.
Kicked in the ass by your own dog.
Yeah,
You
I
think
didn't
he was doing
appreciate
it intentionally?
I don't think so.
Did you react?
Yeah, I just said, what the hell, man? You just put your knee up my beehole.
Here's a question. No, I'm not even going to ask that question. A question came in from a listener as to what foods we would and would not eat while sitting in Sniffers Row at a gentleman's club. There's nothing that I would turn down.
What about clam?
Yeah, I was thinking
doesn't
that,
bother
too.
me. Doesn't bother me. I'll eat through anything.
Handheld items would be the best, of course, but I'd eat some spaghetti. Whatever.
Whatever
That's
you
kinda
got,
messy.
push it in front of me.
I love spaghetti.
What, some naked girls on stage? I've eaten through worse than that. You know what I'm talking about?
I mean, there's the tacos. Sure, you can joke about that.
Doesn't
That's
bother
fun.
me. Consider where I grew up. I've eaten through worse than anything you can show me at a Boom Boom Room. Consider some of the bars and restaurants I go to regularly. I'm not afraid to eat some bean with bacon soup in the front row of a strip joint. Seen worse. So there you go. What else is going on, Josh? So you mentioned the old lady's leaving town.
Yep.
It's already happened. You
Yeah.
are officially now a bachelor.
Yeah, as of 11 a.m.
All right, cool. I'm happy for you. Before the week is out, what do we got going on this week? Why do I feel like there's something coming up before the end of the week?
Well, Ashley's going to go down to U.S. Bank Stadium tomorrow for Monster Jam, and she's going to hang out with some of the drivers and maybe get in one of the trucks.
Heck yeah, I love being down there.
Oh, me too.
So much fun.
Love
Monster Jam coming to town. That's what I had in mind.
Wow, does it make you feel small being down by the monster trucks, though? I feel like just the smallest, most insignificant person when I'm next to those huge trucks.
They're large vehicles. And you're not the biggest gal in the world in the first place.
No, they usually have to help me quite a bit to get into that truck. Even with the little handles they have, yeah, it doesn't help me out too much.
The OS handles.
Yep.
Yep.
One of the great thrills of my lifetime, Josh, was when me and 2-3 buddies received the honor of being judges for the freestyle contest a number of years ago at the Monster Jam.
That is
really
so cool.
Yeah.
How difficult was that?
Not terribly difficult.
Because I know you take the responsibility seriously.
Of course we did.
Yeah, so that's cool. That's really cool.
Yeah.
It would be hard not to give out like sympathy points if they tried something really difficult and they failed and they looked sad. I'd be like, let's just give them 10s.
One of my buddies was dummying down his scores on purpose to see if he could start trouble.
Are you serious?
Yeah. I told him, I said, this is not the right place for that.
No.
That's awesome.
These are monster truck drivers. They'll come over and hit you in the mouth with a wrench, but he was dummying down the scores.
Were you guys like up on the big screen where the whole crowd was? Oh yeah, you could upset the crowd too.
On the big screen.
Oh, that's so much fun though.
And then the little kids are like, why'd you give Monster Mutt a 4? He was incredible. The little kids were rooting for Monster Mutt. They were chewing my pal out. It was the Monster Jam's always a good time. So that's right. That's what I was forgetting. Before the end of the week, Ashley's going to go down to the new Metrodome and hang up with the monster truck drivers. We got to get out of here. Everyone text in ideas for Josh how to spend his time as a bachelor for the next few days. I'm guessing a lot of texts are going to say whack off. We'll be back here in a few minutes on the Half-Assed Morning Show.
The 93X Half-Assed Morning Show.
They got their heads up their ass.
On 93X.
Dana here to tell you all about my new friends at Standard Heating and Air Conditioning. You see, I've been doing apartment living ever since my parents kicked me out back in the day, but now I'm back living in a house. I'm absolutely clueless when it comes to any project. That's where Standard comes into play. They cranked on my furnace to get it really cooking for another cold winter. And think about this. Standard's been doing this for over 95 years. That means at one point, they made sure your great-grandpappy was all nice and warm in his butt-flap jammies. So get in touch with the folks at standardheating.com and make sure you ask about becoming a Smart Club member. That's standardheating.com.
The Bigger Pockets Podcast Network is your home, get it, for real estate investing.
I am very tired of people saying that your primary residence is not an investment.
Get real talk from real estate pros about investing strategies that work.
I bought a house for $1 and it makes me $1 million.
You can become a real estate millionaire over the course of like 5 or 6 years.
No one needs a stock. No one needs cryptocurrency. They need a house.
Bigger Pockets. Follow and listen on your favorite platform.
Stupid news on the Half-Assed Morning Show.
Cubby's on his own for a few days. We learned this earlier on the program. Cubby's on his own. The old lady upped and left town. So we asked our listeners for ideas. 651-989-9393 is the number you text to get a hold of us over here on the Half-Assed Morning Show. We asked our listeners for ideas. What can the poor bastard do now that he can finally effing breathe for a day or two? Here are a couple ideas for you, Josh. Wait a minute. I needed that one. I shouldn't crumple that one.
Don't crumple that one yet.
You and your son, more importantly, my godson. Here's one idea for you, Josh. You could go rent snowmobiles and go ride for the day.
Yeah, I love that idea. I don't think I've been on a snowmobile since I was 80s.
Right.
It's been a long, long time.
Terrible tragedy out there on the ice that day.
Yeah, a couple of them.
Josh was riding his snowmobile. I was right behind him. Cubby had just won, I'd say $700 worth of chicken wings at a, at a meat raffle at a bar in, we were either in Walk-On or Isle or Onamia or something like that.
Isle, I think.
Nice win.
Josh won $875 in chicken wings at the, again, what's the term?
Meat raffle.
I don't know why I can't come up with that today. And so we're gonna haul all this carcass back to Izaides. And he stuffed the big rack of wings up the back of his jacket, and he hit an ice ridge, and it all fell out onto the ice. And we scrambled. We were like crackheads for a while. we were on our hands and knees gathering up these chicken wings. Like, we
no
can't,
wing left behind.
We can't lose these chicken wings.
No.
We got them at the, what do you call it again?
Meat raffle.
We were putting them in our pockets like junkies.
And I was so excited.
That part.
I was so excited that I won. I mean, I couldn't believe that I won.
And then we said, what are we doing? Why are we collecting chicken wings off of the ice, the Lake Mille Lacs, the frozen? So then we just kept going again.
Yeah, there was a few tragedies. Somebody, unfortunately, their brand new sled fell through the ice.
That was not a tragedy. That was hilarious.
Yeah, I feel more devastated about the missing wings than the guy's sled.
That was hilarious when that sled went through the ice. Well, don't kid yourself. You were laughing too.
Oh no, I felt bad for them. They're good people. The one that it's like one person really got screwed on this deal, but the guy had it coming. Remember the dude that decided he was going to show everyone how good he was on a snowmobile, and he borrowed his friend's brand new sled and just destroyed it on a tree.
Oh, really?
Luckily, he was okay. But
he had
the sled
that
was
coming.
Destroyed.
He had that coming. He was a douchebag.
Oh man, that guy was a major douchebag.
Mm-hmm. And again, the best part of that particular weekend was we were snowmobiling and having beers and having laughs with one of my favorite rock and roll bands, Tesla, that particular weekend. Well, 3 of the members of Tesla, Jeff Keith, Tommy Skeoch, Brian Wheat? No. What? Who am I missing?
Yeah, Brian Wheat.
Was it? I don't think it was Brian. Was it just? It was just Jeff and Tommy Skeoch. That was it. It was 2. Jeff and Tommy Skeoch.
It was?
Yeah, that's the way I remember it. It doesn't matter. Some of the guys from Tesla, I thought it was just Jeff and Tommy. But this roadhouse that we ducked into where Josh won all the chicken wings, it was just really funny to walk into a small bar in Onamia, Walk-On, Isle, wherever the hell we were. It was noon on a Saturday. It was so much fun to walk in there. And there's 3-4 hillbillies already bellied up to the bar. And, of course, when the door opens, they turn and they see people. And then watching a couple of them turn again and say, is that a couple of the guys from Tesla? What the hell are you guys doing here at noon on a Saturday? Oh, another idea for your bachelor weekend, Josh. From a listener. This was texted in. Get on Tinder, find a nice young lady, and go to an ice maze.
That does sound nice.
That sounds delightful, yeah.
I don't think I'd be allowed to do it.
And then you get it on.
Yeah, I definitely can't do that. You were right. A lot of people recommended masturbation. I'm still not feeling 100%. I don't think I can get through that.
Well, we'll help you out.
Maybe I'll start, but I don't think I'm going to get very far.
Don't bother. It's not what it used to be.
Masturbation's over.
It's not what it used to be. Stupid news report, you say. Sure, I got it right here. I do. Let's get things cooking. Talking about a feller who just, I guess, more or less had the worst day of his life. It was pretty bad. Well, maybe most embarrassing. Maybe the title shouldn't be worst day of his life. It was embarrassing. What's interesting about it, though, was all the bad or embarrassment took place within about a minute of when the poor bastard came to in the morning. Don't we all need a little bit of time when you first roll out of the fart sack? Just let me get my wits about me. Let me get my socks on. You know, you don't want nonsense coming at you right away. That's not fair.
No, not until you had that first cup of coffee, right?
Oh, don't talk to me until I have my coffee.
No way. Got to have that first cup of coffee.
Ugh.
I got to drink this much coffee before you can come at me with that.
It's the worst people.
What, the people who say that kind of thing?
Yeah.
We've definitely worked with a few of those. Hey. I haven't had my coffee yet.
I'm not even getting involved in this conversation.
That's ridiculous.
Because you haven't had your coffee.
This guy hadn't been awake for more than a minute, and everything had gone to hell. Let me piece this together for you. And, these types of stories are helpful in a couple different ways. First off, they're good entertainment, and that's what we're looking for around here. Secondly, if your day has sucked eggs so far, maybe you can go ahead and compare your bad times to this guy, and maybe you'll find out you don't have it so bad. So some effing guy, he has everyone talking on the godless internet about the piss-poor morning he had a few days ago. And like I said, it all fell apart within about 60 seconds. First of all, he said he had a late night the night prior, needed to get up early in the morning. He was exhausted when his alarm went off at 8 a.m.
Poor guy.
S-A-W-F-T.
Soft.
At any rate, he had a late night. Alarm starts cutting loose at 8 a.m. He fumbled with his phone trying to hit the snooze button on it. And in the process, he hit the power button 5 times, which then set off what they call here an emergency SOS call on his Google Pixel. Now, from what I understand, if you're saying, what the hell does that mean? I don't know either. From what I understand, that means his usual alarm, after he punched the power button 5 times, his usual alarm turned into a blaring siren type of a sound. So let me ask you, Josh, maybe you don't know, maybe you do. You hit your power button 5 times and then a massive siren sound goes off. Is that something folks use when they're being attacked or something?
Yeah, sometimes you can pick how many times you hit it. Like, if you're unable to make a phone call.
I've accidentally, done something like that where I call the police. And I look down at my phone. I've been on the phone with them for 2 minutes.
Oh,
What?
shoot. Mine never went through because you hear that alarm, right? Saying, hey, you're about to call the cops. At least my phone does that.
Yeah, now mine does, but when I had older phones, it did not.
Then the cops came to see you?
No, usually they just call because every single time I just get scared, so I hang up my phone right away.
You're not supposed to do that.
Yeah, I know, and so they've called me back,
Hey,
and they're like, "Hey,
Smashly.
what's up?" And I'm like, sorry, my bad, didn't mean to do that. I'm safe.
So dude just comes to trying to finger bang his snooze button. Instead, he sets off this alarm. So now he's got this tornado siren going off in his bedroom. He said he looked at his telephone. He saw the notifications for calling 911 and stuff about sending his location to emergency contacts. Do you understand what I'm saying here?
Yep.
So suddenly his phone is telling him, hey, look, we're going to get 911 emergency services to you right away. He thinks, oh no. He was able to cancel all that mess somehow. And he's thinking, okay, the nightmare is over. Then he starts getting texts from friends. And they were saying he'd sent them photos and a video from his bed. Says here now, there's a feature on his phone that sends images when an emergency is triggered.
No.
Problem was, from here, he was sleeping butt-ass naked. So 12 of his friends in his cell phone were sent images of him in the nude.
He has that many emergency contacts? Good for him.
Swinging. Fortunately, this naked emergency guy was able to have a sense of humor about this disaster. He said, nobody was upset or offended. My embarrassment just gave everyone a laugh to start their day. Or a fun late-night booty call, depending on their time zone. You see, I've got friends all over the world. Is what he was saying there. Don't be fooled, Josh. That was the message at the end of that story.
Yeah, I think
he wanted
you're
us
right.
to know that he had friends all over the world. Anyway, what a way to start your morning.
Yeah, that is a whole cascade of chaos for sure. I'm trying to think. So I only have 2 emergency contacts. So if I were to sleep nude like Dana does, gross, my wife and my brother would see my weenie.
Emergency contacts.
And neither one would want to see it.
I only have 1, and I'd be safe there.
Your wife and your brother would see your weenus.
Yeah.
I didn't know you could set it up to like take pictures. That's crazy.
Yeah, that is nuts. I don't need that in my life.
I want to figure out how to do it.
Do I have an emergency? I got to look at
I bet you got one in there.
At one point or another, I should look into this telephone that I carry around every day. All right, allow me to warn you now real quick, if in fact you didn't already know. Chicks are shady. They do stuff. Some of you dudes have found out the hard way that your ex is the one who does the shady stuff. Here's a gal who isn't just shady, she's strange as hell, too. And for the record, you should know there are folks saying that this story is 100% nonsense. Whatever, nothing new for us. A lot of stories come in and out of morning radio shows where half the crowd is saying, oh, this really happened, and half are saying it's total nonsense. We'll go ahead anyway. The story says a gal got herself arrested a day or two ago. She got caught filling up her ex-boyfriend's gas tank with Coke Zero and, quote, pre-sucked Skittles.
Her mugshot's on 93x.com.
Hubba hubba.
Pre-sucked, huh?
What if they sold them that way?
Half off.
I was picturing just a bag full of that. Ew.
Oh, maybe somebody could, like an OnlyFans model might be able to make a couple bucks selling the pre-sucked Skittles.
I was just going to ask, whose pre-sucked Skittles did you guys eat?
Everybody's.
Yeah.
Anya Taylor-Joy.
They're good.
Anybody
And
in
Miles Teller.
Did you like that movie, by the way?
I did.
Okay, I did too.
So the word is that maybe this gal was going for one of those mix candy with soda like explosions that we heard about in elementary school.
Yeah, but Mentos, baby.
Yeah.
Mentos and Coke.
She went with the wrong stuff. Although, I mean, it still did some damage.
And the word is her plan was to make her ex-boyfriend's motor vehicle explode with this gimmick.
I don't understand why they needed to be sucked.
She just wanted the flavor. She's trying to save calories, actually.
I know somebody that did that for the calorie reason. Yeah, she was trying to lose weight, and she loved M&Ms. And she'd suck that coating right off, and then that's it.
Oh, that would be hard to have that kind of control.
She sucked the coating off of a what?
Off of M&Ms. And that was it.
Spit the chocolate
And then,
back,
yeah,
back out?
She'd suck the coating off and then...
Oh, can you please delete that?
I can't. It's password protected. And the password is spit on that thing.
Spit on the... Ashley, good question. A minute ago, you said you don't and I like that quote. That's the quote of the day so far. Ashley said, I don't understand why they needed to be sucked. Good question. And that's part of why there are so many doubts about this story. There are so many questions about this story. One of them, how was it discovered that she sucked the Skittles before spitting them into the gas tank? Now, plenty of those websites have picked up this story, and they also have the lady's mugshot that you mentioned a minute ago. So who the hell knows? I'll be all right either way, whether this is true or not. But she wanted to taste the damn rainbow, Cubby.
I've tasted it before. It's good.
Someone said some level of wah-wah-wee-wah with this mugshot?
Oh,
Yeah.
dude, she's gorgeous.
She is.
God dang it. no.
Probably not worth that level of being a nutcase, but... oh, geez, Jesus, who's always good for a funny text. He commenting on the girl I knew who would suck the coating right off an M&M. He said he knows a gal who'd suck Marshall Mathers. Took me a second, too.
Me too. That's a good line.
It might take a second, but it's worth it.
Marshall Mathers.
You know who that is?
No.
Google him real quick.
Well, first I'm looking at this hot lady who sucks all the skin off of Skittles. And she's a very pretty lady.
Yeah, definitely.
Beautiful eyes.
Yes. Absolutely.
Okay, now I am in charge of looking up
Marshall Mathers.
what it means to be Marshall Mathers.
Marshall Mathers.
All right, give me a minute on this. And then I got a sucking story for you.
I'll bet.
Oh, wonderful.
Marshall Mathers.
A lot to look forward to.
The Marshall Mathers LP. It's a record
No, it doesn't show you who it is?
Well, I see the guy Eminem. So
Yeah,
he made a record called the Marshall Mathers LP.
No, Marshall Mathers is Eminem.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Just tell me that next time.
Well, I thought it was going to be pretty easy. It pops up, it's Eminem, and you enjoyed the joke.
Yeah.
Here, let's go back to this if we could. We'll bring it back.
That's it? You just want to play it again?
I thought maybe we'll bring it back to that.
God, I hate that gal.
I know you do.
But now I know that Eminem's real name is Marshall Mathers. That was the whole adventure we just went on?
Correct.
All right.
To explain the joke.
Speaking of sucking things and then leaving them to waste, I know none of you have met her, but my wife will...
I've known her for 2 decades. We're text buddies.
You and...
Your wife.
My wife.
Yes.
She'll take, at times, not all the time, she'll take a bucket of peanut butter-filled pretzels, and she'll put them in her yapper, and then she'll clean out all the peanut butter and then dispose of the pretzels.
You know what? Your wife might she might enjoy a Kong. You just get her a Kong.
Yeah, like a damn dog. She licks all the peanut butter.
No.
That's a good idea.
Why does she do that?
We have Kongs in the house.
Yeah, just give her a Kong.
Fill that thing with peanut butter. Here you
She's
go.
not wasting pretzels.
Lick the ever-loving life out of this instead of ruining all of our peanut butter, how do you say it, stuffed pretzels, whatever.
Are they combos? I've never heard of peanut butter.
No, it's a big bucket like so. It's like a kick drum.
Yeah, you can get them at Costco and stuff. They're highly addicting.
So then I'll come around the corner and say, hey, I'm in the mood for a peanut butter pretzel, and there'll just be husks everywhere.
Why?
And peanut butter running down her chin.
Oh, my God.
Okay. Let's add some darkness to the mix this morning. And give me a minute now. I gotta go away. After you put me through that nightmare, I gotta get back on my computer and go away from this M&M website and go back to our text messages so I can... I'm gonna add a little darkness to the mix. What I believe I have here for you is a brand new way to die young. Brand new to me, at least. It says here, now then, a 14-year-old kid over there in Brazil, he upped and died after injecting himself with butterfly parts. And to nobody's surprise, the rumor is that this is all part of a what?
Some sort of social media challenge.
A social media yay, social media. I can bring 3 of my friends.
Yay.
So the kid mixed a dead butterfly with water and then injected that swill into his leg. Stop!
I say keep going.
Mixed a dead butterfly with water, injected it into his leg, and next thing you know, he puked and went down. Now, I believe the kid eventually came to again, but he got sicker and sicker from there until he eventually ended up in the hospital. Word is here he spent what they're calling 7 agonizing days in the hospital, and then he checked out. Doctors think that the kid went into some style of septic shock because of the toxins in the butterfly carcass. Hell, I don't know. This is so far beyond anything I could comprehend. It's just another in a long line of things that the young people are doing that I can't understand.
Ugh. No, thank you. I hate butterflies.
What?
Yeah, they're one of those bugs that they don't care about landing on you and stuff. I don't want them touching me.
They're just trying to be friends.
I know. And sorry, excuse me. They freak me out a little.
Take it easy. They're not here to hurt anybody unless you inject them into your... The local cops are trying to figure this out. And like I said a few minutes ago, they're not ruling out social media challenge as a cause of death.
I had no idea that they were toxic. I got to stop eating them. Have you ever had a peanut butter fly and jelly sandwich?
I have not. So there's a brand new way for a young person to die. Like Ice Cube's character Doughboy said in the movie Boys in the Hood, Doughboy says it just goes on and on, you know.
That was a great movie. Great movie.
Get your babies out the street, he said also. That's another line from Doughboy. The next headline I have here for you says, doctors found 5 contact lenses lost behind a woman's eyeball. Now, that's kid stuff. I used to drink with an older gal who has that record beat easily, God rest her soul. And it wasn't the lost contact lenses that killed her. But she topped that easy. She was a heavy drinker, and that's why we got along so well. And she didn't always remember if her contact lenses were in her eyes or not. And during one visit to the eye doctor, the doctor found 7 or 8 old-ass 1976 contact lenses swimming around in her eye sockets.
Oh, I hate that so much.
This here story is about a lady in China where they found 5 contact. A team of Chinese plastic surgeons recently reported this case, a 33-year-old woman who had 5 contact lenses behind her left eyeball. The gal was at the plastic surgeon's office in order to have this or that done to her mug. She told doctors that she had lost some contact lenses in the past few months, but had no idea that they were chilling in her eye socket. There were no problems caused by the lenses living in her eyes.
I can see through walls.
Yeah. But they say had she left them in there a while longer, the eye could have become infected, and then, of course, after that, the eye falls out. And the story goes on and on about this being some kind of a record that's going into the medical books. I only wish that old gal I used to rap with at the bar was still alive to tell her tale. Because there were far more than 5, I can tell you that.
That does seem like a low number in the history of contact lenses.
Oh, that would be so painful. I could never do contacts. They tried when I was younger, and I refused to.
Yeah,
do you need glasses?
I'm supposed to, but I had LASIK, so I should be good. I'm supposed to use them when I look at like my computer and stuff, but
see, I'm cool. Now that I have to wear glasses, I'm totally cool with it. I'll never sign up for LASIK. I can just put the glasses on my gorgeous face. So you guys tell me, because a lot of you have had eye issues long before I did. The idea behind contact lenses, just for folks who don't like the way they look in glasses?
Well, maybe not necessarily always the look. I bet that's a big part of it, but just the convenience. You know, they're always in there.
They're always in. You don't have to take them out at night.
Oh, you do at night. Sure, I'm sure. So I haven't had them, but my understanding is, you take them out at night, and then you spit clean them.
Yeah.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah, there's some that you can leave in at night too.
Oh, are there?
Yep.
Oh, I can never put something in my eye.
Yeah, I don't think I could do that either, but I imagine it's like anything else. You get used to it. Another great moment. Maybe that's too bold of a statement. Another contact lens related story. A dude I used to play beer league hockey with. Good guy. Don't see him anymore. Wish I did. Just a character. He wore contact lenses, and he told us a great story once in the locker room. He woke up one morning, and he had been drinking quite a bit the night prior. And at least he believed he hadn't removed his contact lenses before he went to bed the prior night. So he wakes up the next morning terribly hungover. He's got to get going somewheres, and he's relentlessly grabbing at his eyeballs with his index finger and thumb, trying. God help us! I got to get these contact lenses out of my eye. I know I forgot to take them out the night before, and he can't get his fingers on them. They're slipping. At least that's what he thought. He finally says, F this, I got to go to the doctor. He goes to the doctor, and the doctor says, what's the problem? He says, I can't get my contact lenses out of his eyes. The doctor puts a flashlight in his face, and he says, that's because you're not wearing contact lenses right now. He spent all morning long finger banging his eye sockets trying to get contact lenses out that were never there.
I bet he felt a fool at that point.
That was kind of his style, Josh.
Oh, really? It wasn't necessarily uncommon for him to make a goofball move?
A little bit of a goofball, but that's why we loved him so damn much.
Medical device shipping Jesus said that when he was younger, he left his contacts in his eyes for 2 months. Oh, did they just become part of your eye?
Yeah, they just absorb.
He just didn't feel the need to remove them?
I don't know. He didn't say.
Remember for a brief period of time when everyone wanted to throw the
cat eyes?
Well, not cat. Well, I mean, I do remember that as well. But just suddenly the wildly bright colored contact lenses.
The all black ones?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was a thing for about a week and a half.
Yeah, we worked with a couple people that did that.
It's really strange, I thought.
Ask me,
because everyone knows you don't have bright pink eyes. Why are you,
unless you were in the pink eye pasture right there at Sniffer's Row.
Yeah, right.
Ask me about CrossFit, Jesus. I had mentioned that you spit clean the contacts, and he wants to know, is there a specific way that you spit clean contact lenses? I told him I can't do it.
Oh, I think you can, though.
I don't think I can do it. I don't think you'd ever perpetuate any violence toward me, but I have a feeling if I played...
Just do it. I know the bit. I get mad and you do it. I get mad and you do it. So just do it.
Ask me about CrossFit, Jesus. Yeah, I know how you could spit clean those things. Spit on those things. I told you I'm trying to train myself to sneeze where I say "Hachua" and I forget every single time. It happens so fast and I don't have a lot of build-up.
When are you going to get over this?
I am, but I'm back in since you hate it so much.
It's one of those things where it's come full circle.
Yeah.
It got old and it wasn't funny anymore, but now it's funny again.
Yeah, because the rage that some people have.
I disagree. When's the last time you gave something a spit shine? And I already feel the text coming in. I'm just the other day I did. I spit shined a table.
I guess yesterday.
Was that wrong? You spit shined, and this isn't a BJ joke?
No, it's not. It's not a BJ joke.
Well, like I said, I can feel the text messages coming in already when I asked the question. When's the last time you gave something a spit shine? What did you spit shine?
I guess I probably shouldn't be doing this. It's probably not good for it. But my ring.
Your ring?
Yeah, I'll lick it and then wipe it off with my sweatshirt.
Okay.
To make it sparkle more.
I got crap on Tuesday I just did some impromptu dusting, and I had a buddy over, and I just used the sleeve of my sweatshirt to dust.
Nothing wrong with that.
No, I mean, I use my bare hand all the time.
He shamed me.
And you can, what's the term we use here on the program? And not edit that, but I just said I use my hand all the time. What's the...
Isolate that?
Isolate that. The other day, there was a table, didn't belong to me. So was this wrong? It didn't belong to me. But there was a table that looked a little dirty, so and then I took a paper towel and I spit shined it. I spit shined someone else's property.
Where the table, like where food's going to go and stuff?
Yeah.
That's kind of gross.
Yeah. All right, before we go, let's talk about faraway places, far from here. Peru, wherever the hell that is.
Well, Dana, what's notable about Peru?
The certain bear is from there.
Who?
Yeah.
I've learned to not mention that bear's name on this program.
He loves marmalade.
He does love marmalade.
I talked about him yesterday.
I don't even know his name.
I tried to.
Fair enough. They use bizarre... I've seen videos like this before, and I know you have too, Josh. They use bizarre tactics during their drug raids in places like Peru. So there's a video going round and round. A Peruvian policeman dressed in a giant capybara costume.
It's pretty cute.
It's just an awesome video.
Some of you probably don't even know what a capybara is. It looks like a big beaver.
Yeah, it's a giant rodent, and they live in like marshes and swamps.
I've seen one at the zoo. You say the video's up on our website?
Yep.
So a Peruvian policeman dresses up as a giant capybara, like he's a mascot at a ball game, and he busts on into a garbage apartment to make a drug bust. I don't get this.
I think it's kind of fun.
I love it so much.
But if you're that cop, Josh, you're busting into a drug den. What if you get air-holed by an M16? Do you want to die in a massive capybara outfit?
Well,
I want to die like a man.
What else? Would you want to be dressed like Hulk Hogan? And if so, what year? Like Hulk Hogan 1987?
Oh, you got to go NWO.
Why would I want to be dressed as Hulk Hogan?
I'm wondering what you would want to be dressed as if you were
myself, my damn self.
Oh, you just want to be yourself?
Yeah, in a serious situation like this? Yeah, I don't want to be dressed up.
I want to spit shine the old Legolas costume and be remembered as the guy that was dressed like someone from Lord of the Rings.
Well, as we've mentioned before, you did look absolutely fabulous as that character. So this was on Valentine's Day, too, if that means anything to you. They have body cam footage that shows the moment cops used this silly gimmick in a drug raid.
I wonder if it's partially to embarrass these guys, meaning the drug dealers and whatnot.
And maybe they know ahead of time that, okay, these aren't the most dangerous sumbitches in town. These guys are punks. You know what I mean? Because if this is...
Yeah, definitely.
What was that famous drug dealer in Mexico for all those years? Pablo
Escobar?
I doubt they're going to dress as the...
Probably not.
The Muppets or something to invade his territory. I don't know. I'm overthinking this because I haven't slept in days. But it says there's a specialized unit of the Peruvian National Police who often disguise their agents in costumes during holidays. Like I mentioned, this was a Valentine's Day raid. So I have seen some of the other bits from Christmas raids where the cop walks in dressed as a candy cane or whatever. They've previously dressed their officers is how you say it. They've previously dressed their officers up as Spider-Man, Captain America, Thor, Black Widow, and Danhausen to carry out their drug raid.
Dude, I get freaked out at Danhausen and busted into my place.
Danhausen lover Jesus or something like that. I bet she'd just melt.
She's out there.
That was the part.
She's friggin' out there.
Sports on the 93X Half-Assed Morning Show.
Our crowd's mind is on the wrong stuff. Our crowd they make it worse when a guy misses a free throw. The stress in Paulie's crazy when a guy, the guy's not trying. How about help the guy? How about cheer for the guy? It's not like he's trying to miss the free throw. That just makes it worse.
I'm not trying to blame the crowd.
That guy, I want to hear more from that guy. He's friggin' funny.
That dude's something else.
That's the head coach, the head dudes basketball coach there at UCLA. He threw their fans under the bus after they lost to the Golden Gophers the other night. Talking about how if one of their players misses a free throw, don't go, oh, no, he missed a free throw. You're supposed to go, yay, you can get the next one. You're supposed to be positive, he says. This guy's friggin' funny. I like his style. I got to tell you, the Pigs and the Wolves better get going here pretty soon. I'm bored out of my friggin' mind. Nothing's been happening. Of course, there's the big hockey game tonight. Everyone's touching themselves over the hockey game tonight. But for Pete's sake, I watched a documentary last night. It's just terrible. This is no way to live. I watched a documentary. We need the Wolves and the Pigs, Josh. I need them back in my life. I like college basketball. I do, and there's plenty of college basketball in town. But I just can't get that dialed in unless it's the Golden Gophers. You know what I mean? I used to be able to watch any college basketball. Now, it just doesn't hold me. So let's go Wolves, Pigs. Let's get it going. Sure, the game tonight will be fun. We'll talk to Randy Shaver about it. Here in about a half hour, Randy Shaver will be joining us. For now, don't go any damn place because my guy Cubby's coming at you next with his news report.
The 93X Half-Assed Morning Show.
They got their heads up their ass.
On 93X.
Dana here to tell you all about my new friends at Standard Heating and Air Conditioning. You see, I've been doing apartment living ever since my parents kicked me out back in the day, but now I'm back living in a house. I'm absolutely clueless when it comes to any project. That's where Standard comes into play. They cranked on my furnace to get it really cooking for another cold winter. And think about this. Standard's been doing this for over 95 years. That means at one point, they made sure your great-grandpappy was all nice and warm in his butt-flap jammies. So get in touch with the folks at standardheating.com and make sure you ask about becoming a Smart Club member. That's standardheating.com.
Bravo TV star Lala Kent holds nothing back.
When someone tries to get hyphy with me,
you match energy.
I do match, and it's all your fault.
Yes. Get to know the TV personality.
It is one specific storyline that lasts 14 weeks plus a couple reunions, and then you move on.
And the mom.
My parenting, and actually Ocean really likes this. Would you like a cookie? And some Taylor Swift. Shake it off.
Give them Lala. Follow and listen on your favorite platform.
Half-assed morning show. 93X.
Never know what a person's going through that day.
But I've been here for 4 years, never seen it personally myself, never experienced anywhere.
What's he talking about?
64-year-old a 64-year-old Florida man's temper got the best of him Sunday, which led to him pulling a gun on another customer at a grocery store over a parking spot. Around 2:20 p.m. in a crowded parking lot of a Publix, multiple drivers were waiting patiently for an open space. But patience wasn't on Adam Fallick's agenda. According to police, Fallick pulled up behind another car in line and started aggressively honking his horn.
Fallick is the last name?
Fallick, yeah.
I get a kick out of that. I'm having fun already, Josh.
He's trying to force his way through. This individual thought he was going to bully his way into the Publix parking lot, police wrote on social media. Little did he know the incident was captured on security camera, they wrote. Surveillance footage shows the driver in front of Fallick stepping out of his car and walking over to ask the dick to stop honking. Instead of easing up, police say Fallick pulled a gun with a scope. The victim backed off and returned to his car as Fallick hurled vulgar comments his way. Someone in the victim's car snapped a photo of the license plate and called 911. Here, a police spokesperson gives some advice on what to do if you find yourself in the victim's situation.
Move yourself from the situation. Let the guy behind you honk his horn as much as he wants.
Fallick never did get that parking spot. He tried to drive off, but cops caught up with him quickly before he could get away.
We're a troubled group.
He really wanted that parking spot.
Must have been a good one.
A flight from Miami to Newark had some unwanted in-flight entertainment when a New Jersey man threatened passengers, crew members, and even the captain. According to the complaint, a 32-year-old made himself the least popular person on board, ridiculing fellow travelers and targeting a disabled person with threats of violence. More specifically, a disabled child with threats of violence.
Oh, my gosh.
And when a flight attendant cut him off for more alcohol, his hostility turned toward them, too. By the time the plane touched down, the captain made an announcement law enforcement would be waiting at the gate for a disruptive passenger, which set the man off even more. He exploded. He bolted from his seat, charged the cockpit, and started pounding on the door, screaming a barrage of expletives at the captain, all while the plane was still taxiing. When the aircraft finally reached the gate, the captain stepped out of the cockpit and came face to face with the raging passenger, who doubled down on his threats at that point. But his tantrum was cut short. Within moments, law enforcement stormed the cabin and hauled him off the plane.
So he threatened to kick a kid's ass.
Yeah, a disabled kid's.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wow, he's going to be in jail for a while.
FBI Newark had some strong words for anyone thinking about pulling a similar stunt. In a statement, they made it crystal clear. If you think this isn't a big deal, think again. You're breaking federal law, and you will be brought to justice.
To justice.
Authorities in Vermont are pointing to an unexpected culprit for a hotel fire over the weekend. Battery-operated heated socks. Firefighters from multiple towns rushed to the Burke Mountain Hotel about 7 p.m. Saturday, responding to reports of heavy smoke on the 5th floor. Guests were quickly evacuated as crews worked to contain the blaze. Fortunately, firefighters managed to stop the fire from spreading beyond a single room. Thanks to their swift response and assistance from hotel staff, guests were able to return safely once the situation was under control. According to the fire chief, the blaze was accidental. A guest's heated socks malfunction, causing their batteries to short circuit, ignite, and ultimately set the wall on fire.
You ever pulled on a pair of heated socks?
No, I didn't even know that existed. I have heated gloves. I didn't know they made heated socks.
I've never been that soft.
That sounds so nice, though.
They're very warm.
Yeah,
it's so good
soft.
for snowboarding.
Especially when they're on
if you're
fire.
a punk or something.
A 15-year-old boy's been arrested after spraying people with a homemade chili spray inside a British Costco.
What do you mean chili spray?
Homemade.
Use some sort of chili sauce to spray people.
Chili sauce.
6:30 p.m. Monday, emergency services rushed to the scene with weird-sounding sirens. Again, this is in England, prompting a full store evacuation as police with bad teeth investigated. Again, this is England. According to British authorities, 10 people, including the suspect himself, ended up with burning eyes and itchy skin. Quick-thinking bystanders tackled the teen while Costco staff played makeshift medics until police, ambulance crews, and firefighters arrived.
He's just running around finishing in people's faces with his homemade hot chili spray?
Yeah, but he got himself, too.
Idiot.
At first, he was going to face some more serious charges, but they realized it wasn't acid. They were wondering if maybe it was an acid, but it was the DIY chili spray. While it packed a punch, it wasn't chemical warfare, just a bad idea. So his punishment isn't as severe, but he is in some trouble. Also in England, police there are investigating a string of attacks on trains near Cambridge North Railway Station, which left several train cars with shattered windows and in some cases disrupted service.
What is this, the Old West or something? What the hell's going on?
It gets even more weird. Between January 18th and February 2nd, at least 6 incidents occurred with projectiles reportedly launched using some sort of homemade catapult, striking moving trains. British police arrested a 16-year-old on suspicion of endangering railway safety. Authorities are still working to determine a locomotive for the train attacks.
God dang it.
And are urging anyone with information on the vandalized trains to choose to come forward.
Great
catapult. That's so cool.
An Idaho school staffer was caught on camera getting way too friendly with a 17-year-old student on school grounds. So friendly, in fact, that it sparked a criminal investigation. Mary Strong, a 53-year-old teaching assistant, reportedly sent the student some extra credit in the form of explicit photos and videos on Snapchat. Then she was filmed engaging in sex acts with him right on campus.
God dang.
When confronted, she tried the "I was too drunk to remember" defense, which unfortunately for Miss Strong is not a strong legal strategy. She's also playing dumb in front of the judge.
$100,000 bail is a very reasonable request by the state, considering the nature of the offense. Do you understand all that, Ms. Strong?
Not really, Your Honor, but I don't really have a choice. It's kind of above my mindset right now. I've never done this before.
Yeah, it's all new to me.
I don't get it.
Yeah. Sorry. This kind of sounds like a you thing and not a me thing, but I guess I'll just be here. She's now scheduled to face the consequences in court next week.
She doesn't remember messing around with a kid, huh?
I'm not really sure what to do here. A dramatic police chase in Louisiana ended in a crash early Monday morning after a man stole a UPS truck packed with unexpected cargo. According to the Shreveport Police Department, the chase began just after 5 a.m. when officers received a report of a stolen UPS vehicle. The suspect, 26-year-old Skylar Jarvis, refused to stop, leading police on a high-speed pursuit through the city. The chase came to a crashing halt when Jarvis slammed into a police vehicle, forcing the truck off the road and wrecking at an interstate exit. Then officers found more than just your average deliveries in the back of the vehicle. Authorities say it also contained narcotics, dangerous substances, and firearms. He was taken into custody with the help of a canine officer and now faces a buttload of charges.
We have identified the man driving the vehicle as Skylar Jarvis. Jarvis now faces many different charges, starting with aggravated flight from an officer, attempted first-degree murder, as well as theft of the vehicle. But there are further charges coming.
Why is he making this announcement at a bar and grill?
It was bingo night.
Oh.
Yeah, he didn't want to miss bingo night. Police on the scene say he appeared to be under the influence at the time of his arrest.
Oh, sure.
A pilot program to install traffic cameras at lights to curb speeding and improve pedestrian safety could launch in several local cities this summer. State lawmakers have given the green light to the initiative, which will run from August 1st to July 31st of 2029. After that, officials will crunch the numbers to see if the cameras are making the road safer. As of earlier last year, 17 states use both red light and speed cameras, while another 9 use one or the other. And the data is hard to ignore. A Minnesota Department of Transportation study found speed cameras can reduce serious and fatal crashes by up to 56%.
It is a tool that I think could increase safety in all of our communities.
We know that traffic safety camera programs save lives and reduce crashes.
Of course, this isn't Minneapolis's first attempt at traffic cameras. Nearly 20 years ago, the city tried out red light cameras, only to have the state Supreme Court slam the brakes on the program. But thanks to recent legislative changes, officials now have the green light to move forward, this time under tighter restrictions. Citations go to the vehicle owner, but they can challenge the fine if they weren't driving or if the car was sold or stolen.
My cousin was driving.
It's always a cousin. City officials will gather public input on where to put those cameras and when they should be placed.
That's all That's all interesting stuff. I got no problem with that because I don't run red lights and I don't speed.
Yeah, I'm with you on that.
You know, Josh, I was telling you recently that I've been spending some of my free time watching dramatic DWI videos on YouTube where the person is pulled over and then that person usually acts like an absolute 4-year-old and embarrasses themselves. This is real quick. I'll cut to the chase. The other night, I watched another one of these videos, and the cop approaches the window of a lady driver and says, "You got a driver's license?" And the gal says, "I don't know."
Off to a great start.
I'm not too sure.
And they went from there. As you can imagine, it got even more interesting from there.
Good question.
I don't know.
A 45-year-old Florida man is suing the Polk County Sheriff's Office, claiming jail guards and medical staff left his gunshot wound untreated, saying it reeked and nearly killed him.
Well, you got to treat a gunshot wound.
Yeah. Mr. Jason Pickles, serving 5 years in state prison for driving at Winter Haven police officers during an arrest attempt.
Pickles is the last name.
That's it.
Is that for real?
Yep.
That's a cute name.
He said his pleas for medical help were ignored, leading to a severe infection which spread through Pickles' body. Mr. Pickles repeatedly told jail guards he was in excruciating pain with a .45 caliber bullet still in his knee, but they brushed it off. As the lawsuit lays out, Pickles was left to ferment in misery, placed in a self-harm observation unit wearing only a smock as, quote, brown-tinted bloody pus dripped onto the floor, the lawsuit read. The infection spread to his right hand and his bloodstream, swelling his limbs and putting Pickles on the brink of death, which was kind of a big deal, his lawyers said. A judge eventually picked a proper practitioner for Pickles, but it took weeks before he was rushed to the hospital, where, according to Mr. Pickles' lawyer, doctors were horrified at his condition.
Just turned rotten on him.
Yeah, guess it got real gross. And, like, fellow inmates were complaining, like, this dude stinks.
Oh, you're the guy that just smells bad.
Yeah, you don't want to be the stinky inmate.
New guy in the corner, I bet.
A longtime employee of a Twin Cities gas station is facing serious charges after stealing tens of thousands of dollars in lottery scratch-off tickets. According to a criminal complaint, the store manager contacted police in mid-March last year, reporting the employee had been pocketing and cashing in stolen lottery tickets. Over a span of 3 months, investigators said the 54-year-old Apple Valley woman took a total of 88 scratch-off tickets. Surveillance footage shows her scratching them off during multiple shifts, cashing in her winnings, and claiming the losing tickets were either damaged or lost.
Right there at work, she was doing this.
Yeah.
Knowing there are cameras there.
Or forgetting? I don't know. In total, authorities say she walked away with over $19,000. If convicted, she could face up to 10 years in prison and a fine of up to $20,000.
Yeah, that's not right. I worked at a gas station for a while with lottery tickets when I was 18 years old, and it was tempting. This gal's 54,
Definitely.
for Christ's sake.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
That's a little different to be creeping up on 60 and still acting so shady, but tempting.
Most people stick to the usual hi or hello when greeting somebody. But in Arizona, that could be about to change because howdy may soon become the official state greeting. Last week, lawmakers introduced HB 2764, a bipartisan bill that aims to give Arizona a little extra Western flair. The proposal suggests that adopting howdy as the state's official greeting would add some cultural character and embody Arizona's welcoming spirit.
Is that a news story that's going to reach everyone? We have a new official greeting.
Howdy, that's what you say. Here it might be how are you. My mom is a very how are you type of person.
Sure.
Reactions have been mixed, some embracing the idea and others rolling their eyes. But supporters argue Arizona has deep roots in the Old West. And what better way to honor that legacy than with a classic cowboy-style greeting?
Well, isn't that just the cutest damn thing you've heard all day?
Good for them.
Yeah, as long as it makes them happy.
Reacher Season 3 begins streaming today.
Heck yeah.
Based on the Jack Reacher novel series by author Lee Child. The hit Prime Video series' new season features Jack Reacher infiltrating a criminal organization and coming up against a dangerous enforcer. The show has received rave reviews so far, raising expectations for an exceptional Season 3. Yesterday, I was looking at Rotten Tomatoes, and it had a 100% tomato meter rating.
Yeah, I really got to get into that
awesome.
show.
My fiance would leave me for that man, like instantly. He's in love with him.
I can see why, sure. Robert De Niro's new Netflix political thriller limited series 0 Day is now streaming. A former U.S. president is called out of retirement to find the source of a devastating cyber attack, only to discover a vast web of lies and conspiracies. Streaming now on Netflix.
Robert De Niro, had he not gone into acting, what the hell would I watch on television?
Yeah, no doubt.
God, I love those old movies he made, flipping Raging Bull and, how do you call it, Taxi Driver, Goodfellas, Casino. I even liked A Bronx Tale, and it's pretty bad.
Top Gun Maverick star Miles Teller, who has premarital relations with Anya Taylor-Joy in the new Apple TV Plus movie The Gorge, is 38 today.
The Gorge.
It's a great movie.
Yeah, it was fun.
San Francisco Giants right-hander Justin Verlander, who can really mix up a batch. He's 42.
God dang.
Oh, man.
It's terrible.
Supermodel Cindy Crawford, 59. Subway sandwich spokesperson Charles Barkley, 62. Shout out to electrician Jesus and 7 other donkeys headed out of town for some snowmobiling in Michigan for the weekend. Happy 41st birthday to KCHK Sucks Jesus from Goat Trucking Jesus. Happy birthday to the lovely Anna from Your Lucky Man Liquor Store Jesus. Happy birthday to Amanda. She's like a little cute cuddly teddy bear, but then she attacks and bites. Love you, babe, says pours chocolate milk over cereal Jesus. And then happy 31st to Dinky Doo Trucker Butt Jesus. And that's 93X News.
Randy Shaver.
Got a fat ass and a bad attitude.
On the Half-Assed Morning Show.
Riders have gone the wrong side. Riders have gone the wrong side here. What on earth has happened here? Riders are on the wrong side of the road on the left. They're sprinting there, but the finish is on the other side of the road. What on earth has happened? It's Filippo Ganna who's got away and has stolen a march. The rest of the peloton on the wrong side of the road. This is a farcical finish to the stage at the Volta al Garve for most, but it is a glorious win for Filippo Ganna, who's one of the few riders who went the right way.
Randy Flippin' Shaver.
Yes, sir.
How you doing, man?
That sounds like the 100-yard dash for people with no direction.
Well, you're close.
A la Monty Python.
You're close. That was an Italian bicycle race.
Yes.
So the word is there was an Italian bicycle race a few days ago where none of the people on bicycles knew which way they were supposed to be racing.
Oh, boy.
They followed the wrong guy.
That sucks.
There's video of this on 93x.com.
I'll tell you what, I can't wait to click on that. Says here, most of the participating riders went the wrong way and did not cross the finish line.
I'd hate myself.
And they're still riding right now.
This is
nobody said anything to him yet.
Yeah.
The event is what they call stage 1 of a 5-day professional cycling event in Portugal. That's what they call it. That's the title.
Sure. Mm-hmm.
But nobody could find the correct way to go. Riders were supposed to. I don't watch a lot of professional bicycle races. I don't know about the rest of you, but I think they follow some fat guy on a motorcycle usually, right?
Yep. That's right.
Riders were supposed to follow the motorcycle man. They go around on the final lap, or whatever they call it in the business. They go around some kind of a roundabout, and it spits them out onto a straightaway for a sprint to the finish. But the motorcycle guy went the wrong way. The bicycle people followed him. Everybody was all effed up, didn't know what direction they were supposed to be pointing, and the race was just smooth called off. And they'll try it again tomorrow.
Well, it's not the guy who went the right way's fault that everybody else has screwed up.
Yeah,
of course not, but
know,
they called it off.
He was pretty bummed, as you can imagine.
Yeah.
He was so excited.
Bicycle races, man. Queen used to sing a song about that, didn't they, Josh?
Oh, yes.
Bicycle races are coming today, so forget all your duties, oh boy.
It's a great band.
Fat bottom girls will be riding today, they say. 1976, Randy Shaver.
That was a good year.
That was what, just a couple years before you got smooth out of high school? Is that correct?
That was the fall of my senior year.
Dude.
Yeah.
I know what folks do in the fall of their senior year. You F off, you drink beer, you chase ass, you raise hell. That's what you do.
Actually, probably not so much in the fall of your senior year, more the spring of your
No. The whole schmear.
Yeah.
I'm with Randy. Once kind of football season ended, that's when everybody just kind of
Nobody
said, all
cared
right.
about football season.
Oh, that's not true.
Nobody cared.
We had a great year that year.
Now, folks who like to race in their free time are struggling everywhere lately. We can keep going with this gimmick here. And I'm not talking about automobile races. Those folks always know. They always know where they're going. It's
turn left.
It's the bicycle people and the people who engage themselves in a foot race or two. They're just not entirely sure which way they're going. Also, runners in a foot race in Glasgow were sent in the wrong direction during a foot race because pranksters buried the signs with the arrows on them and whatnot. Are you following?
Yeah.
Young kids, probably in the fall, probably in their senior year of high school. These pranksters this is a run in. You run through the woods and such for this particular foot race in a place called Glasgow. So pranksters went running through the woods, burying the arrow signs, covering them up with leaves like it's a cartoon or something like that. And all the foot racers went the wrong way. Everyone's pissed. Everyone got their money back.
Yeah.
What a pain in the ass.
That's what they get for signing up for a race.
I agree.
It's their fault.
Yep.
I agree. Mm-hmm. Why in God's name anyone would sign up for a foot race, I have no idea.
Well, just if you're going to sign for a foot, just run on the track. Because at least you know where you're going when you're on the track.
You never got lost out there running the 400-meter meter.
I ran one time. I ran a 6-mile 5K or whatever it was called, 10K, through the streets of Cedar Rapids.
You did.
But I knew where I was going because that's where I lived. And it didn't matter anyway because I was so bad that a woman who I believe was 8 months pregnant passed me at like the 3-mile mark.
Oh, no.
She stopped to ask if you needed help.
and I realized at that point, you are not a distance runner. You'll never be a distance runner. Who are you trying to fool? Just get off the course.
How old was the ass man during this?
I was probably out of a year out of college, so I was probably 23.
Still a young guy.
Yeah. But
because when you were running track in college, you ran the 400, the relay. You had this was a sprinting sprinter's game.
That was true pain for about 48 seconds. So
the pain only lasted for 48 seconds.
Well, that's the race. If you're decent at it, you're running 48 seconds.
You're talking about the sprinting is true pain
that's the
for
400 meter. Yeah.
What was the amount of pain you were in when you were running a marathon?
Oh God,
constant.
Well, the 10K, it was from the jump. It was pain.
Yeah, I don't get it.
But I realized at that point, as the woman passed me, what are you doing? You're not competing here. This is not. She's going to have a baby at the end of the race, and you're not going to win anything.
What if the baby won? The baby beat
the
Mom.
baby beat me.
Yeah, you were beaten.
The baby slipped out just in time. Marathon runner Jesus said that he is about to leave to go to Tokyo to run the Tokyo Marathon.
What's the matter with you?
Oh, congratulations.
What is the matter with you? I love picturing you talking to yourself during this marathon, telling yourself that you're not good enough. For whatever reason,
You're a has-been, Randy.
What the hell are you doing out here right now?
I was actually running. I was running with a friend, and
Was she cute?
No, it was a guy.
Okay.
And we were both. It was my former roommate in college, and as she passed both of us, we both looked at each other and just said, "What in the hell are we doing?" what are we trying to prove here? So
let's go have a beer and talk about our glory days.
That's basically what happened. We walked off the course.
That's a funny image. If they made a movie, I'm picturing Jonah Hill watching this pregnant lady run right by.
Here's another text message from marathon runner Jesus, who says, and this is the silliest thing I've heard all day, a marathon is the best way to see a city. How about Google?
Yeah, Google Maps. That's how I do it.
How about Uber?
Right.
Yeah, Uber's another good one.
Now, when you ran that one marathon in your lifetime, Randy Shaver.
It wasn't a marathon. It was a 10K.
I don't know what that means. I don't follow this, but whatever.
5K. It was 6 miles.
Okay. Half marathon, quarter, three quarters, whatever.
Not even that.
When you ran that long-distance foot race, did you get the bloody nipples? Did you get the diarrhea that we hear about?
Oh, gosh, no.
There was no bleeding?
No. I'm not running hard enough to warrant anything other than maybe a blister on my heel. That's about it.
All right. I thought that happened with every of those.
It does happen, and people, crap their pants and everything else.
You've had that happen on your way to the car before, Nick.
Yeah.
Bloody nipples, everything.
I don't have to
you don't need to be running to have that.
No, it doesn't need to be any kind of a competition at all for me to.
No.
Randy Shaver, get your Rob McClanahan bobblehead doll. Get out your Chris Chelios souvenir pregame skate hair gel.
Okay.
Yeah. Whatever patriotic United States hockey-related good luck charm you have in mind.
Okay.
Tonight is the big final of the suddenly wildly meaningful 4 food groups invitational hockey tournament. The United States club plays Canada, 7 o'clock tonight. The game will be televised on ESPN. I'm sure the suits at ESPN were hoping for a Sweden-Finland championship matchup, but somehow it ended up Americans and Canadians playing for the trophy.
Yeah, I'm sure they're a sigh of relief.
Now that's got me thinking. What if it ended up being Sweden and Finland in the title game of this little mini tournament? Because, let's be honest, this was put together for a Canada-U.S. final. That's why this was put together. What if somehow it would have been Sweden-Finland? Boy, they'd be kicking themselves in the ass right now. So there you go. Everyone's been wound up about this. A lot of text messages, a lot of conversation on this.
I have to be honest, I'm surprised that it's been as popular as it has been.
I am too.
People love good.
It. Yeah, I've been really enjoying it. I left a social function that I was actually enjoying on Saturday, to get home. I had to be home in time to watch U.S.-Canada. And I'm not a big hockey guy at all. If it's on, but I don't go out of my way. I went out of my way to watch that game on Saturday night. That's rare for me when it comes to hockey.
Dana doesn't know the difference between a clothesline and a blue line, and that's irrelevant. But that's irrelevant. Al Michaels, 1980, direct quote, Al Michaels. Little inside information on the game tonight. I heard there's a $100 bounty on the head of a Canadian player. U.S. coach Mike Sullivan said $100 of his own money goes to the first of his guys that really nails that creep. We just don't know who he's directly talking about. But there's a $100 bounty on the head of one of the Canadian players.
Huh.
Kind of thought you folks would see through that, but maybe not.
I got the reference.
Okay.
I thought you liked it kind of when a bit just sat still.
Yeah.
Sometimes I do. You're right. You're right. You don't know True Pain, Randy Shaver. World's okayest engineer, Jesus. You don't know True Pain until you run the 800.
Yeah, 800 meters is, when I was in high school, that was called a run. Now it's basically a sprint for 2 laps around the track. It's brutal. It's brutal.
Got a friend that runs those 50 and 100 mile races. Those are
that
should be illegal.
Yeah, those little ultra marathons.
Yeah.
What do you know about these people?
Do they need to get in touch with a therapist or something?
Yeah. What's the motivation?
Yes.
What they love to run.
What past trauma? There's traumas.
When he's training for these. He does a full marathon like every Saturday morning. It's like 26 miles? Is that what it means? 26 and a half?
Yeah.
So he'll do that at least once a week. He runs almost every day, but He'd do that once he's training for these 50 and 100-mile races.
Hey, you want to get coffee on Saturday? Yeah, I just got to run a marathon quick. Then I'll meet you at Caribou.
Yeah. People like that are people who, if they don't run every day, it's kind of like people who work out. If they don't get their workout in every day, it bothers them. It's so ingrained in their everyday life that they have a hard time functioning because they didn't do that one thing every day. You know what I mean? I mean, I work out on Mondays and Wednesdays. I do a lift program. I've been doing it for almost 15 years consecutively, not missed a Monday and a Wednesday. When I was down here and my granddaughter got sick, I missed a couple of weeks. It drove me nuts that I didn't go do it. So you're almost like you're so obsessed with it that it's like comfort when you do it. It sounds painful, but to them, it's probably their way to release, and it's comfort.
Very strange to me. I'm not wired like that. Here are a couple of text messages as we've been discussing marathon running and foot races and whatnot. Randy Shaver, you called an 800-meter. You said you used to call it a run.
It was called it used to be called the 880.
Okay.
The 80-yard run.
Okay, here's a listener who says the 800-meter is actually called an F that. Another listener says...
True sprinters, it is called that, yes.
Another listener says, enjoy your heart attack and early grave, marathon runners.
Oh, man.
Now, you know what we got going on here in town starting today. I believe it starts today. Back to hockey is the girls' state hockey tournament.
Yeah.
And they're playing down at the XL Energy Center.
It started yesterday,
Yeah,
did
I thought
it
it
not?
started yesterday.
Oh,
Yeah.
see, I'm
Class
not,
A, maybe.
I'm way more focused on the Canada USA thing tonight.
Sure.
Here's who's playing. Do you want to know who's playing?
Yeah.
Tweeterville got in. Friggin' Tweeterville. That's
fabulous.
That's what my dad always called Orono. Orono is in. They'll be playing Fergus Falls, War Road, and Marshall.
Okay.
The Dodge County Wildcats are taking on the River Lake Stars. Some of these schools are new to me. You know, they keep renaming.
Well, River Lake is probably a joint effort.
Yeah.
Different communities.
That's what happens. They all kind of glom together, and then I lose track of who's who. Cubby's old high school, Holy Angels, the Academy of Holy Angels.
Yes.
Will be facing Proctor/Hermantown. Then you got Centennial Spring Lake Park versus Rosemount, Hillmurra versus Andover, Edina Farmington, Moorhead, and Holy Family Catholic.
Holy Family Catholic knocked off Minnetonka to get into the state tournament.
Oh, wow.
That was a monster upset. Did Class A not start yesterday?
I thought they did a couple games.
Usually they play on a Wednesday, then the Thursday is the quarterfinals for
You see what I'm going to do since I brought it up? I'm just going to be silent as if it's become your problem now.
Okay.
Yeah, it looks like War Road beat Marshall 4-0. Orono beat Fergus Falls 9-0.
You see?
Yeah.
I should have even said a damn thing.
Yeah. I saw Nick, and I know you'd be sad to hear this. That Mike Lang passed away, the famous Penguins broadcaster who had all the great lines.
Oh, wow. I haven't heard his name in years.
Yeah, he...
beat him like a rented mule.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah.
Passed away at the age of 76.
Did he now?
I saw it on ESPN.com this morning, and I read the article just to remember some of the great lines that he used to put out there when he was the Penguins broadcaster. He retired a few years ago, but he passed away.
No kidding. Yes, I remember his calls very well.
I mean, you play this all the time. We would play his lines a lot.
He had that rough voice. He beat him like a rented mule. That was, I haven't thought.
That's Mike Lang.
Is that right? He and the old Buffalo Sabres announcer, and I cannot think of his name, were two of my favorites. If ever I was lucky enough to get a little audio, you know, when I was growing up, of course, I didn't even have cable television. But every once in a while, you'd catch some audio of a goal call from a completely different NHL franchise than the one we had in town at the time, of course, the Minnesota North Stars. And I always enjoyed hearing Mike Lang. I always enjoyed. Can someone find the name of the Buffalo Sabres announcer from back in the 80s and 90s? The guy who, I mean, I'm going to get emotional. The guy who did the Fa La 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 Fontaine. What the hell was his name? He just, and of course, you know, those arenas were so loud back in the day, the Buffalo Auditorium back in the day, and so the crowd noise mixed with that man's voice, whatever his name was.
Yeah. Rick Jeanneret?
That's it, Jeanneret.
Jeanneret?
I think is how you said it. Yeah.
Yep.
When Pat LaFontaine scored a big goal around Christmas time, he said, Fa La 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 Fontaine. And I was so friggin' hooked I couldn't. God, those guys were great.
I love that.
They were just great at what they did, and they made it so much fun. Now, I think, is he still around? I mean, not actively calling games, but is he still breathing?
Died in August 2023.
Son of a bitch.
Yeah.
81.
Wow.
And see if, Josh, I'm not trying to put, or anyone to work here, but see if you can find the Mayday call.
Oh, yes. We've played that before a few times.
Yeah, big playoff game. And Josh, I believe he was the guy on the call when the Sabres and Ottawa Senators had that fight 7-8 years ago where Chris Drury got knocked almost to death, and then they just fought like hell. But in the playoffs, early 90s, maybe more towards mid-90s, Brad May scored a big overtime goal for the Buffalo Sabres. I want to say they were playing Boston. And he did the Mayday.
Yeah.
Mayday. Very clever guys.
And over the line. Here's May going in on goal. He shoots. He
That's awesome.
F me running.
That's awesome.
Well, Randy Shaver. By the way, Scrotum Like a Yo-Yo Jesus has texted into the program.
Oh, good.
Yeah. You'll be even more excited, Randy Shaver.
We missed him.
Yeah. You'll be even more excited, Randy Shaver, when you learn that he's directly addressing you to a certain extent. Josh, have you seen this picture on our text machine, Scrotum Like a Yo-Yo Jesus? I think...
Oh, yeah, you're from NASCAR?
I think he believes he has a picture of you from when you visited the Daytona 500 last weekend.
I think he's joking.
Oh, really?
Oh, is he joking?
Yeah.
Because it does look somewhat similar to you, Randy.
Oh, yeah?
But there's no way you were wearing $5 blue jeans pulled up to your nipples and a backwards camouflage hat.
I thought about it.
Yeah.
Actually could have used it once the rain delay started, because I was not prepared for the temperature to drop from 80 to 55 in like 10 minutes. But
so he's joking around. He doesn't really think that was Randy.
That's not me. No, it's not me.
All right.
No.
It's a gross picture, though.
Yeah, I don't like that picture.
Kind of makes me uncomfortable.
The toe sucking?
Yeah.
That's what clued me in on it's probably a joke.
I also got a text from a guy who says, so you like those goal calls, but you hate Gus Johnson? When the hell did I ever say I hate Gus Johnson? Someone else on this program said
Brad has said that a few
Brad
times.
Ryder hates... I don't hate Gus Johnson. Please don't mistake me for friggin' Brad Ryder. Hey, Randy, you're going to get a kick out of this. It sounds like our old buddy Chris Warcraft hasn't changed.
I saw this. I was hoping you would bring it up. I was not going to bring it up, but I was hoping you would say something.
Our old buddy Chris Warcraft.
Oh, man.
Some of you won't remember, but the Vikings had a punter on the ball club a number of years ago by the name of Chris Kluwe.
Yep.
He was a regular guest on our show. We called him Chris Warcraft because he was such a massive nerd.
Yeah.
We had a lot of fun
Played with figurines.
He did. He painted figurines.
He painted and played
He
with
even opened up a store doing that.
in his locker with the Vikings.
Yeah.
He was a artsy, fartsy kind of a guy. He played bass guitar in a progressive rock band. He was just a really interesting character, deep thinker kind of. Eclectic.
Very, very much so. Incredible video game player. That's how we met him.
Fantastic softball player.
Yeah.
Oh.
He could hit a homer.
Yeah.
And he was never afraid to stand up for what he believed in. Well, a day or two ago, he got himself arrested. Pardon me?
Spoke his mind.
Yes, he did. He got himself arrested a couple days ago. He was protesting a city council meeting in a place called Huntington Beach, California. He's a California guy, and he's been there since he retired from the game of football. He was arguing about some display that was going to be put at the public library, something about the MAGA thing or something that I don't follow nor care about at all. But he was arrested. Politics.
And he was wearing a Tecmo Bowl sweatshirt.
That was my favorite part.
Andy was carried out of the...
No, he was not.
Yeah, they carried him out.
Yeah, he said he was going to remain limp, and the officers had to carry him out.
Yes, and he was carried out.
He got carried out?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Hilarious.
Yes. He knows how to make an entrance and a departure.
So he was in handcuffs, and they carried him out.
Yep.
I don't know about the handcuff part, but he was
he was cuffed.
out.
Yeah, he was. Yeah, he was on the ground cuffed.
Warcraft, man. Still doing his thing.
Yeah,
he's still doing his thing, yeah.
Man.
Yeah.
It's funny. So we knew him real well back in the day.
Yep.
Him a lot, and he signs this massive contract with the Vikings. He gets a $1 million signing bonus. I remember the day he got it. He was so excited. And he went out and he bought a $60,000 car that he financed for 5 years. After they handed him a $1 million check. Just a goofball.
Yeah, he was something.
Yeah, we had him in the studio a year or two ago when he was in something.
Yeah, super cool.
We did? A year or two ago?
Yeah.
Wasn't
probably
that
2 years
long ago?
I feel like I haven't seen the man in a decade.
Yeah.
7 alleged members of a South American theft group. The peckerheads that burglarized the homes of all those professional athletes we've been talking about for months.
Right.
7 of them have been charged with their crimes. More than $2 million worth of it. And there's probably 7 or 8 more of these groups that are going to take up right where these guys left off. But anyway, they stole more than $2 million worth of valuables from athletes' homes. It's been a big story. All of them, they say, from Chile, and they could be looking at 10 years in the Stony Lonesome. I think we mentioned this when it first happened, that the way the cops started to really get a lead on these fellers is when a couple of them were pulled over in Ohio for a simple lane violation, and they found a bunch of gear in the car. Of course, if you're going to be involved, Josh, in a $2 million burglary ring, always keep the stolen merch in the car.
It's insane they got caught because they did everything right. And all the selfies they posted online.
Yes, that's really the thing that killed them.
That's what got them.
Oh, I did not know about the selfies.
But it was both those things, but they're posting pictures of them wearing the gear online.
Okay, I did not hear that. That's
so stupid.
This game-worn Joe Burrow jersey.
So, as you've likely already heard, the other notable athletes who are assumed to have been robbed by this same group of jagoffs. You got Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelce, Bobby Portis, our own beloved Mike Conley Jr., Linval Joseph, Luka Doncic, Karl Anthony Towns. Really, I don't know if I heard that Karl's place got the door kicked in. Hockey player Tyler Seguin, I can never get his name right, and Don Callis.
Kenny Omega wasn't there to stop him?
No,
Dang it.
He was in Japan at the time. But they kicked in Don Callis's door and took all of his spray tan lotion. So they got 7 of these guys. Like I said, I hate to say
I'm sure there's more.
I hate to say it, but in a week there's going to be another one.
Yeah.
Copycat type characters. We talked about this. Oh, no, maybe we didn't touch on this yet, Randy Shaver. But first off, while you're down there in effing garbage-ass Florida, you're still there.
It's felt like that at times.
Yes. Are you going to go to any ball games now? The Twins start on Saturday.
I am. I'm going to, because we're up in Kissimmee, which is like a suburb of Orlando. The closest team is the Tigers in Lakeland.
Okay.
So I'm going to go watch the Twins play the Tigers next Wednesday, I believe.
Think it's must win for the Twins?
Well, I'm hoping. Here's what I'm hoping for, and I haven't looked yet. I'm hoping Skubal is pitching for the Tigers, at least an inning, so I can watch him. And I'm also hoping that Correa and Buxton make the trip. I doubt it. It's a long haul from Fort Myers. It's about 2 hours. So I'm guessing that the lesser-known players will make that road trip. But, yeah, so I'm going to catch a ball game next Wednesday.
So, I'm sorry, you are not going to make it to the Twins' home ballpark?
I am. Well, Fort Myers is about 3 hours from here.
Well then,
and we did drive down there, I don't know, a week ago to see some friends. It's a haul, and I have to be honest with you. Everywhere the traffic in Florida is terrible.
Yeah,
it's so hard to get around
here. And the people.
Well, that's part of it, but the traffic in because we're near Disney, and the traffic every day at 4 o'clock or whatever it is just god awful. But the traffic in Fort Myers, honestly, I think is worse.
It's brutal.
It's brutal, and so if I don't have to go there, I'm not gonna go there. I love the ballpark there. I love Dustin Morse and Mike Herman with the Twins. They're great guys, good friends of mine. But I can't drive 2.5, 3 hours.
Don't worry about it. I'm not asking you to do anything.
So Lakeland is about 40 minutes from where I am. And so, and when I covered Twins, when the Twins trained in Orlando, which, by the way, Tinker Field still exists here in Orlando. I drove by it like the first few days I was here. Where the Twins trained actually in Orlando. I made the trip to Lakeland when Sparky Anderson was the manager, early 80s, mid 80s. And it was fun. I'm sure the ballpark's changed because Lakeland was just a farm community at the time. Now I'm sure it's a much more impressive facility, but
I was going to say, if you were going to roll through the Twins ballpark, I know a guy.
Yeah, I'd love to be closer to them.
I know a guy who serves beer at the ballpark, and he'll be there Saturday, and he likely would give you a free beer.
Yeah,
because you're the ass man.
They've done such a great job with that facility. If you've not been there,
no.
They've added so many seats in the outfield, and the facility itself is it's top notch. It's really good.
You want to hear? I got a baseball story for you.
Good, because that's all I've been doing in the last week is reading baseball.
Okay.
So,
well, I'm not going to talk
30 fantasy drafts coming up, don't you?
I've had 4 already. I'm in the middle of 4 right now, Dana. I love baseball. I absolutely love fantasy baseball.
And we're getting there. We're getting there. We're almost ready to do the real thing here in a month or whatever. Sorry, I'm not going to be talking about pitching rotations or
that's fine
rules or the hit and run or anything.
Yeah.
But Dustin May.
Yep.
Dodgers.
The Dodgers.
Pitcher. Big red hairdo. Wears a beard.
Yep.
I hadn't heard this story. He talked about a complete freak accident that required emergency surgery last year. So he was hurt the 2023 season, Tommy John surgery.
Yep.
Last season, he's trying to get his ass back in shape to help the Dodgers to their World Series title. He's a talented kid. I've seen him pitch once or twice. He's got the goods.
Yeah, he's battling right now for the 5th spot in the rotation.
But he had this freak accident last July that required emergency surgery. He went out to dinner, got a piece of lettuce stuck in his throat, and it tore his esophagus for him.
Oh, that's crazy.
That's what you get for ordering a salad.
And that's what kept him from joining the Dodgers last year when they could have used him. I mean, obviously it didn't hurt. They won the whole thing, didn't they? Didn't the Dodgers win?
They did,
okay.
yes.
Yes. He calls it a life-altering event. Could have died.
Wow.
Rushed off to the emergency room. Said he probably wouldn't have made it through the night had he not gone to the emergency room because of a piece of friggin' lettuce stuck in his windpipe.
I've never heard of that before. I mean,
neither have I.
You can get like harder pieces of when you mix a salad with other stuff.
Right.
I'm surprised lettuce would be the thing that did that, but
crouton could be an offender.
Right,
Crouton,
maybe a bacon bit.
Oh,
yes.
Oh, rogue bacon bit.
Sunflower seed.
Piece of cabbage.
Yeah. F you, there's bacon in there.
Oh.
Nick Bourne, circa a while ago.
Direct quote, 2003, let's say. He said he felt a lot of pain in his throat, Ski, and in his stomach for about 15 minutes. It went away. He went home. He said he wasn't panicking. He felt all right, but his wife encouraged him to go to the ER, and he basically had full abdominal surgery to repair.
That's amazing.
He has a vertical scar from his gear to his chest.
Oh, my
They had to crack him open like a damn cantaloupe. He wasn't able to lift anything heavier than 10 pounds. Go ahead with the penis jokes on the text machine. It was extremely frustrating. And then he said, Josh, that certainly wasn't on his bingo card for the year 2024.
Wow.
You love that one.
He had to ruin it.
Yeah, come on.
That's like the ultimate freak accident kind of thing, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Holy cow.
He kind of looks like a dude that could handle some lettuce. I mean, he's not like a small, wimpy guy.
He's not a little guy. No, he's a big guy.
That dude looks like he can handle a salad, by God.
He can take on some iceberg lettuce.
Yes.
What a friggin' nightmare.
Oh, they got to call him Iceberg. They got to give him a nickname.
Yeah, they do.
Oh, man.
What else? Not the most memorable guy in the whole world. So if you have trouble with this, I don't blame you. Former Twins pitching coach Wes Johnson.
I saw this.
Right. I mean, I remember a little bit about the guy. A little sawed-off character. Ran a little bit hot.
I quit on the Twins in the middle of the season.
Yeah, Wes Johnson. Well, nowadays, he's the skipper for the University of Georgia baseball team. He's gone back to the college game. They're playing a ball game the other day against, who cares?
Kennesaw State.
He got he got thrown out of the ball game for arguing a pitch clock violation. The video's fun. And then he straight up got perp walked out of the ballpark.
He did. Down the hill and down to the parking lot.
A police escort to the parking lot, get in your car and leave.
I love how someone's filming it, and you can tell they're in the bleachers.
Yeah, it looked like it was a night game, too, because he kind of disappeared.
Yeah.
Like into the darkness there.
Yep.
But yeah. I mean, you're playing Kennesaw State, for Pete's sake. It's not like you're playing Alabama. I mean, jeez.
He got a little fired up.
Yep.
And they had a cop walk him to his car. That's beautiful. I guess that's the beautiful part of minor league baseball.
Yeah.
One of the many nice and fun things about minor league baseball is, it's not like Rocco Baldelli is going to be walked out to the parking ramp in downtown Minneapolis. But at the minor league park, there's a parking lot right over there. And it's not full, I'll tell you that. It's not full. Yeah. You'll be able to find your car quite easily. Minor league, college baseball also is what I meant to lump in there because this is a college baseball. An article from the folks at awfulannouncing.com. Thank you, Josh, for picking up my stray pieces of paper that are flying all over the room. Says here, Anthony Edwards doesn't want to be the face of the NBA. Edwards recently said, I'm capable of being that guy, but I don't want to be that guy. Fair enough. There's a great line here. Great line here from Edwards coming up.
You can and will be that guy.
Well, I'm capable of being that guy, but I don't want to be that guy. Put it like that. I want to be the guy to just show up and hoop and just kill dudes and go home.
There you go.
Just kill dudes.
Well, he may not have a choice because if you were one of the greatest players in the game and you have the personality to go with it, it may not. You may land on that via default because of who you are.
Well, you know what he said, though? He said that's why they got Wembayamba.
Well, they got Wembayamba. They got Luka. I mean, I think Luka's
friggin' baby nuts. He's got baby nuts.
Yeah, they're way too small for a guy that size.
He can't be the face of the NBA with baby nuts.
I can tell you, so my son's playing 7th grade basketball. He's a senior in high school. And if you look around, every kid on the court, or maybe every other kid, has the Anthony Edwards shoes. Everybody's got including my son.
Yeah.
They don't have the Luka shoes?
No Luka shoes.
Are you tired of watching 3-point shots at this juncture of the season?
Oh, they don't have very many of those.
Oh, they don't? I thought... Kind of like how every kid these days wants to be a wide receiver because that's the glory position in football nowadays. I would figure every 7th grade kid in the world wants to shoot 3-pointers until their parents give up on them.
No, there's really only a couple kids that do. You hear the coaches tell them not to, actually.
Okay.
Yes.
That's good.
Right. Yeah.
It's funny you mentioned that about football. I remember when we were kids, you would fight over who'd be quarterback.
Or running back.
And now it's all wide receiver. Nobody wants to play quarterback.
Yeah.
Just everybody wants to be Justin Jefferson.
Right. Everyone wants to be A1 from day one. Or Luka.
And nobody wants a black stripe down their helmet.
What does that mean?
Well, that means that you weigh more than you can only weigh a certain amount of weight before you become an automatic lineman. And we used to call them black stripe.
Okay.
They would have the black stripe down the middle of the helmet.
That means you couldn't play running back or quarterback.
That's correct.
What's the one with the brown stripe in the back of the pants?
Well, Nick knows about that.
Yeah.
He's an expert.
That's
Wembayami!
Oh, my God.
Always catches me off guard.
Yeah,
Anthony Edwards, fair enough. You don't have to be the face of the NBA.
No.
Just be you, son.
Yeah, I think if he will end up being one of the faces of the NBA.
Well, yeah,
in the next
he already
4 or
is.
5 years.
He already is.
He is, but he isn't. But yes,
Speaking of those tennis shoes that he sells, Adidas, apparently, if you like videos, Adidas has cut loose with a new Anthony Edwards tennis shoe commercial. They enlisted the help of rapper and actor Ice-T for the ad. Now, I didn't get a chance to see the ad. Did you see it, Josh?
Yeah.
Is it exciting?
Oh, it's all right.
It's on 93x.com.
Now, part of the ad, if you remember, it seems like it's been forever since the Wolves and Wild have played, and I'm going nuts. I'm bored out of my mind. If you remember, in their final home game before the NBA All-Star break, Edwards posterized, as they say, Oklahoma City's Chet Holmgren. He unleashed an emphatic slam dunk on Holmgren right in his face. And Adidas put together the ad and used that footage from that dunk. And he said later about that dunk, Anthony Edwards, about Chet Holmgren, he came over like he was a little scared. I'm not going to lie. I don't think he even jumped up to block it. He just wanted to be on the video reel.
He's so funny.
And he said, shout out to Chet. Welcome home, baby.
I'd be A1 from day one.
Because he's a Minnesota guy, that Chet Holmgren.
Yes, he is.
LeVar Ball had his foot amputated.
Man.
Christ, that's awful.
Oh, good.
The father of the Ball brothers.
Yeah.
The Ball NBA players, LaMelo and the other ones.
What happened?
They just say here he suffered a serious medical issue that led to him having his right foot pulled off of him.
Wow.
That's terrible.
That is terrible.
Is it possibly diabetes?
That was my thought.
That's what I was.
That was my first thought.
They don't say, but I assumed that was the case. I knew somebody that...
He's not a little guy, right?
No, he's
not
bigger,
a little guy.
He played college ball himself. He's a bigger dude. He's put some weight on, which is what he should do. I'm not trying to be critical. Once a guy gets done with his 30s, he should put on all the weight possible.
Yeah, once she says I do, at that point, go for it.
Yeah, absolutely.
What is that saying again?
What I do. Once she says I do.
Oh, once.
You cancel your gym membership.
Yeah.
You stock up on Funyuns.
Yeah.
So I don't know what the hell led to this, but I mean, I feel terrible for the guy. That's got to be awful.
That is awful.
Word is he is in great spirits and doing well despite all that. And that's great to hear. He, of course, became famous in the year 2017 when he started to make outlandish statements while hyping up his basketball-playing sons.
I can't believe it was that long ago.
I know.
Yeah, but he really didn't have to make those kind of statements because both those boys proved they do belong in the NBA. If he just would have let the guys play and not overhyped them, I think we'd look at the situation differently. I mean, LaMelo won the game last night for Charlotte when they beat the Lakers. First game back after the All-Star break. He's an outstanding player. He's an All-Star. And the other one who plays for the Bulls, who's been injured so much of his career, is getting 15, 18 minutes a night and doing a pretty good job getting his way back in the NBA. So those two guys were going to make it regardless of whether he opened his mouth or not.
Yeah, he overdid it.
Yeah, he overdid it. He didn't have to do that. He didn't have to hype them.
He made us all hate those kids before they even entered the league.
Yeah, that's my point.
True.
That's my point.
Yeah, I mean, my God, he
didn't need to do that.
Relentless. You think I got a mouth on me. He was once banned from ESPN. Now, that's something to be proud of, I think.
Kind of surprising that anybody, because he got so much coverage. It was crazy.
Josh, Josh, was there any risk of limb amputation when you were diagnosed a few days ago with bitchitis?
No, that wasn't a part of it. Yeah, Randy, I had to be on 4 medications, including steroids, for being sick over the weekend. And my daughter said I had a case of bitchitis. That's what it was.
It happens.
That's tough.
But it didn't touch my feet.
She
really bruised the ego, though, that's for sure.
Yeah. She runs hot. She runs hot.
It also kind of hurt her portion of the will as well. That suffered some major damage.
We were talking earlier about Randy spending his whole winter in Florida, and you mentioned you're going to this town, maybe you'll go to that town, watch a baseball game, this and that. Yep. Did you say anything about Lakeland, Florida?
Yeah, I did. That's where the Tigers train.
Okay, that's where you're possibly going to go watch some baseball.
We are going to go next week,
okay.
Yes.
Okay, below average attorney, above average D.
I can only imagine.
Jesus texted into the program to say, if you think the rest of Florida is a dump, wait till you get to Lakeland. He says it makes the rest of the state seem like a Shangri-La.
Is that right?
I have not heard that at a Shangri-La.
Well, like I said, the last time I was in Lakeland was probably mid-'80s, covering the Twins, and it was nothing but a cow town. I mean, there was nothing there. So I can't imagine that it's still the same, but it sounds like maybe it didn't improve all that much. So.
Yeah. Orlando. When I went there, I thought, what have I walked into?
Yeah, it's...
When I went to Orlando, Florida. All I did when I was there was masturbate. I just wish someone would have given me a hotel room, for Christ's sake.
They have, like, masturbation sections if you go to a restaurant.
I was so bored, it's all I did.
Man. Oh, man.
All right, Randy Shaver,
you were a young man.
Yeah, and that was a miserable trip. It was a miserable trip.
Especially for those people standing around you.
Yeah, it was a radio trip. It was a...
Oh, those are the best ones,
God,
they?
I hated every one of them. I hated every one of them.
They don't do that anymore, do they?
No, the money's not there anymore.
Yeah.
Well, also, I mean, it's a good thing. It really is. Usually, if you're sending your radio personalities to Biafra to promote a liquor or something, it means... Oh, by damn, are you desperate for numbers and attention?
Okay.
Right, Josh? The outlandish radio promotions usually mean trouble.
Yeah, it can, for sure.
It can.
I'm sure that they still probably do things in, like, Vegas, places where maybe there's a sporting event that you... I mean, when I used to go to Super Bowls, there was Radio Row, where there was every...
Well, that's different. That's just straight-up promotion.
Right, yeah.
But, come on.
I'm sure they still do those things.
Yeah, sure. But, don't make me tell you the story again about the underwater broadcast.
No, I know this.
We did not have an underwater broadcast because the town was really excited about our show. We had an underwater broadcast out of pure desperation.
Yeah.
And this was before I was even working with my life partner over there, Cubby.
Yeah, you're right. There are times if a prize seems a little too good, we think, oh no, ratings must be bad.
Yeah.
why is this prize so good?
that's why we were so excited to give away third place tickets.
It was the highlight of the year.
Yes, because
you guys have made it.
Yeah, you made it.
Take her easy down there, Randy. We'll talk to you tomorrow for a final.
Sounds good.
All right, buddy. Our next guest coming up is Dr. Andrea Johnston, veterinarian from German Animal Hospital. Today is National Love Your Pet Day or something silly like that. So it's only that much more fitting that she's in for a visit. If you have a question or a concern about your beloved pet, text us at 651-989-9393, and Dr. Andrea will do her best to answer those questions when we return on the Half-Assed Morning Show.
The 93X Half-Assed Morning Show.
They got their heads up their ass.
On 93X.
Dana here to tell you all about my new friends at Standard Heating and Air Conditioning. You see, I've been doing apartment living ever since my parents kicked me out back in the day, but now I'm back living in a house. I'm absolutely clueless when it comes to any project. That's where Standard comes into play. They cranked on my furnace to get it really cooking for another cold winter. And think about this. Standard's been doing this for over 95 years. That means at one point, they made sure your great-grandpappy was all nice and warm in his butt-flap jammies. So get in touch with the folks at standardheating.com and make sure you ask about becoming a Smart Club member. That's standardheating.com.
No one knows music like Rolling Stone. Senior writer Brian Hyatt talks the biggest music news from the biggest stars.
Raphael Sadiq. So there's a whole lot to talk about. Bodyguard, that's kind of your song. Did you originally intend it for Beyonce?
Everything is for me in the beginning.
Okay. Take us through the life story of the Notorious B.I.G.
Here's this 14-year-old kid who feels like a prodigy.
We were also supposed to have an interview with Ghostface Killah, but he kind of ghosted on us, which I guess is appropriate.
Rolling Stone music now. Follow and listen on your favorite platform.
They just eat because they eat everything. Anything in their path, they'll eat, including each other.
The 93X Half-Assed Morning Show.
All right, welcome back to the show. Day 24. We appreciate it very much. Today is Love Your Pet Day. I think that's how we're supposed to say it, right, Josh?
That's correct.
National Love Your Pet Day. So go ahead, do that. Love them. Our next guest works with pets every day. Veterinarian from German Animal Hospital, Dr. Andrea Johnston. Thanks for coming back, Dr. Andrea.
Of course.
How's
I didn't
everything
know it was
going?
Love Your Pet Day.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, Love Your Pet Day. Give them a little something extra, a little treat, a little pat on the head.
Wow.
Whatever you need. Whatever they need, I guess, is what I should say.
Yeah.
How you been?
Good. Just got back from skiing.
Oh.
Locally, or did you go on a trip somewhere?
We went out to Big Sky, Montana.
Oh, lucky.
Awesome.
Yeah. It's colder there than it was here.
Now, does that officially make you a buckle bunny?
I call myself that.
My dream is to be a buckle bunny.
Yeah. Because you go out west, right? Montana, Wyoming. Aren't the women out there referred to as buckle bunnies?
I never heard that.
Well,
Okay.
yeah, the ones they're after the cowboys.
Yeah, they're trying to
The
chase
ones
those
who
buckles.
Chase down the... Okay. You have no interest in a cowboy.
No, definitely not.
You went skiing. You're walking fine. You must not have injured your...
No, we did okay.
You're a prolific skier?
I mean, I wouldn't say prolific, but I can ski.
That's scary stuff. Those are real mountains. That's not,
Yeah, it
that's
was
not
pretty-
like going to Afton or something.
No,
like
it's
that's
pretty high.
Yeah.
That's my dream. Oh,
It was
I
fun.
would love it.
The gondola?
Yeah.
What's that?
Hard liquor? A lot of hard liquor?
They have heated seats now.
Ooh, in the
No
really?
way.
Wow.
That's bougie.
And they have like a shield with hot air, but a lot of après ski fun stuff.
And you said it was colder there than it was here.
It's like -13. My kids were real cold.
Oh.
Yeah. It was
Man,
fun.
man. What's that scary one called? The Bunny Hill? I'm just trying to remember. I skied that once and I was terrified.
At least you made it up to the top, Josh.
Yeah.
We were talking about skiing not that long ago on the program. Each of us have a little bit of experience with the sport.
Yeah.
I really liked it as a kid, and I think my brother and I got fairly good at it, but I don't know if anything's changed. It just always seemed so expensive to me.
Yeah. Not cheap.
That was the message that our parents dumped on us, but they would say that, McDonald's was too expensive too. So, well, welcome back to town. Happy you had a fun time on your ski trip.
Yeah, it was great.
651-989-9393. If you have a question for Dr. Andrea about your beloved house pet, I have one for starters here, and it is involving dogs, cats, and secondhand smoke. Can your cigarette smoking, hard isn't the word, hurt your beloved house pet?
Yeah. for sure. I mean, we see asthma in cats and dogs, and it can be due to smoke in the house or things outside too, like allergens. But we also see pulmonary fibrosis in dogs, which can be exacerbated by smoking.
Yeah.
The thing is dogs and cats don't live long enough to say, they can develop lung cancer secondary to smoke.
Never considered.
But yeah, we do see animals come in with respiratory issues because of their environment.
I mean, can their smoking affect us?
I've never seen a smoking cat.
I'll tell you what. You remember that old dachshund I had for 2 decades, for Christ's sake?
Yep.
When I would go out of town, I would leave him with my folks, and he would sit on their laps while they just bombed cigarettes. And I always wondered, this can't be good for the sumbitch. He lived forever, so it must not have been that. Like you said, he didn't. No pet lives long enough to develop some of the problems. But I always wondered because he would just be sitting there in a cloud of smoke.
He liked it.
See you later. Yeah. He must have gotten used to the taste
Maybe
of
he was
Marlboro.
addicted.
Yeah. I mean, it's the same thing like taking HeartGuard and NexGard for heartworm disease and fleas and ticks. I would love it if we could take it, but we live way longer than dogs and cats, so you don't know those long-term side effects.
Oh, that would be pretty cool if we could take that.
Wouldn't it? I know.
Finisher Jesus has a 7-year-old female black lab who's been sleeping a lot more than usual lately. Always seems tired. What's the deal?
Well, maybe what's his name again?
Finisher Jesus.
Maybe is he a boring person?
Could be.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, this is like, the really terrible days of winter where it's really cold. I can barely get my 50-pound dog to go outside and go to the bathroom for 2 seconds. So it could be the weather, certainly. But if he stops eating and is acting off, I would get him checked out.
So you got one of those dogs that looks outside, sees the weather, and says, no.
I have to force him out.
Yeah.
And they're so dramatic with lifting their little paws up.
I know.
What are you doing?
I don't want to go outside and go potty when it's 20 below, you know?
You go out, lady.
Yeah. Go potty for me. Dr. Andrea's thoughts are wanted here on something called ultrasonic dental picks to remove tartar from dogs' teeth. What do you think about all that, whatever that means?
I don't think it's harmful to do it if your dog will let you do it. That ultrasonic sound and sensation is way worse for a dog than it is a person.
Well, maybe I need a further
explanation. It's like an electric toothbrush, right? Like all those ultrasonic toothbrushes.
Oh, okay.
This is just like a scaler, so it probably has like a little pick to it.
Okay, I'm still a manual toothbrusher. I don't know about the rest of you, but okay, like an electric or battery-operated toothbrush.
Right.
Yeah, that would scare most pets away.
Yeah, I don't know many dogs that would allow it, but most animals, if they need their teeth cleaned, need full anesthesia and have them scaled. And
okay. Yeah. What's is it the feet or the teeth? Which is most sensitive to dogs? Meaning they don't want you to mess with them.
Oh, I would say the feet.
Yeah.
I mean, some dogs are totally fine with you.
Yeah,
touching
but others that just say they hate it.
Yeah, I'd say the feet.
Yeah.
East Winstead Jesus. How often does my 10-year-old Great Pyrenees dog named Otto need a bath? They go for regular walks and runs. He doesn't seem to get dirty, but sheds like crazy year-round.
Yeah, that's a breed that you don't have to bathe very often, but they tend to get because they have all that fur, they get muddy and matted. That's their issue, is they get like mats and dreadlocks. Mm-hmm. That I would do it, I don't know, a couple times a year, but you really don't need to unless they get dirty.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
Have you ever had to undergo one of those procedures where, the stray dog comes in from off the street and is so matted it's like 3 times the size it should be, and you have to shave it all? I mean, I saw a video recently of some poor dog who was in that condition.
Yeah. I had one at the U of M when I worked in emergency that was so matted, and under the mats, the dog was covered in maggots.
Oh.
No. Oh, that makes
the entire body had maggots on it.
But you were able to clean the little guy up, and
great.
That was the video I saw. Was this poor dog, and it was basically towing.
I know.
Along behind it, it was towing what would have made up another dog's worth of fur and
I bet it was very happy at the end of that, huh?
You should have seen this.
Total change.
Total change.
Oh, that's awesome.
It hurts, right? Because it tugs at their skin.
And you must. That's probably a very delicate procedure.
Yeah, a lot of times you have to sedate them to do it.
Oh.
Yeah, they won't let you do it.
Mm-hmm. A cat with an eating disorder, apparently here.
Oh, no.
Well,
I like Ashley's reaction.
A cat with an eating disorder. According to Riddle of Steel Jesus, she eats as fast as she can, then she vomits.
Yep, scarf and barf.
Scarfing. That's her gimmick. She's a very clean cat, cleans herself constantly, good weight, but vomits probably more than half of what she eats. Guy says, I don't want to give her more food after that because I don't want more vomit. So here we go. Cat with a eating disorder with a scarf and barf.
I mean, if the cat has always been a vomiter, it just probably eats too fast. So, get one of those slow feeding bowls, those treat balls that you have to eat very slowly to get the food out.
Yeah. You need one of those, Josh.
I know. I'm getting better, though.
He's a fast eater.
I am a fast eater.
Are you?
I grew up in a very big household,
Oh.
so I had to.
Yep.
If I wanted seconds or I didn't want my cousin to steal it off my plate or something.
Makes sense.
Yeah, get one of those bowls where it's like a maze
Yeah.
for the dog
I mean,
or the cat, I'm
otherwise,
sorry.
if it's like a new behavior, I'd get the cat checked out. But honestly, if it's just eating too fast, it's very common.
Mm-hmm.
Slower feeding.
Big Tobacco Sheeza said the other day she caught her 90-pound American bully, quote, hoovering rabbit pellets out of the snow in the backyard. Can eating rabbit poo make him sick? He's 8.5 years old. I've never seen him do this before.
No. I mean, it's harmless in terms of parasites because rabbits are herbivores, right? They don't eat other rodents. They eat grass and leaves. And no, it's harmless. Sometimes it can cause some stomach upset, just like goose poop. I get that question a lot, too.
I sometimes get offended. I'm like, of all the money we spend on treats and food, you're out there my dog is out there just scarfing rabbit poop as if it's just like some delicacy.
I know.
Well, you have a lot of different foods that you enjoy, right?
That's a good point, yeah. It's good to have variety.
Yeah, variety in the dog's life.
One of my dogs ate an entire container of Oreos the other day.
Oh, wow.
It was easy to find out because my wife had bought a bunch for a birthday party. The kid whose birthday was loves Oreos, so she bought every kind they had at Target, right?
Yeah.
And luckily, he and I'm not sure. At first, I wasn't sure which one it was, but luckily it was the mint ones. So I just had to do a smell test, and I could tell exactly. So I ended up calling the emergency vet. I didn't know how big a deal it was, and the vet's like, "There's so
Really
little
not.
chocolate in those things. It's like you might have an upset tummy because of all the sugar." But he didn't even notice. He loved it.
Really?
Yeah, that was the best day of that dog's life.
Best breath he's ever had.
I bet.
We're speaking with Dr. Andrea Johnston from Gurman Animal Hospital here this morning and fielding your questions via text about your dog or cat. 651-989-9393 is the number. Now, we already had a question earlier about a cat with an eating disorder. Boy, they have similar problems to humans. Unless this is a joke. Is this a joke? A cat with a receding hairline.
This would look ridiculous.
Actually, I think I probably know what they mean.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, so sometimes they'll lose hair at the base of their ears, and it does look like they're receding their hair. It almost looks like they have like a really pronounced widow's peak.
Okay.
I need to see a picture of this cat.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
Interesting.
Me and that cat could be in a look-alike contest or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I was going to ask. I don't want to put you on the spot, but does it look like I'm starting to lose my hair?
Just a little bit.
Like I'm getting kind of like a phobia almost that it's starting to go away.
A little bit.
You're doing all right, Josh.
Our 11-year-old pit bull has recently started leaking urine. We don't think it's on purpose. But she'll get up from laying down and find a pile of urine where she was just laying. Is something going on, or is this behavioral?
It's age. It's called, so there's a couple terms for it. Spay incontinence is the kind of the layman's term, or urinary sphincter incontinence. So as female dogs get older, they lose estrogen, and estrogen innervates that sphincter to the bladder to keep it nice and tight. So when they are relaxed and sleeping on the couch, they'll leak because they just don't have that hormone anymore. So you can supplement with estrogen. DES is what it's called. You can get it. It's off the market for people because it is somewhat dangerous for people, but we use it in dogs like once a week. Or there's another med called Proin that you can consider that you give once a day. It's just more expensive.
Okay.
Yeah.
Other than that, maybe just have the it's a dog, right, Josh?
I forgot already.
Yeah, it's a 90-pound.
I forgot.
90-pound pit bull?
Yes, a pit bull is a dog.
Make a kiddie pool its new bed. I don't know. I guess if it's going to leak like that.
It sounds like incontinence.
We had a little mention of rabbits here a couple minutes ago, specifically rabbit poop, and that was fun. Listener texted in on the topic of rabbits. Why are there so few vet clinics for rabbits? Where can this person seek help for their pet rabbit?
So there's several on the east side of the city.
Oh, yeah?
I know Como does it. I know that AERC in Oakdale sees rabbits. Some other just general practices will. I spayed a rabbit recently. They're just super fragile.
Oh, yeah?
They break their backs easily.
Oh,
They're a difficult species to manage.
Yeah.
So there's not many. Just type in like most exotic vets will see them.
You ever have a pet rabbit, Josh?
My sister did, and this thing lived forever. My parents ended up owning it when she moved out. It was a big son of a gun.
Yeah?
I always wanted one. They look so cute.
Yeah,
It
their
was
urine is
huge.
horrible. It smells so bad.
Yeah.
Never mind then. Cut me out.
But they're so damn cute. We had them, of course, typical story. The old man brings a couple home. Here you go, kids, rabbits. He even built a hutch for them.
Wow.
And they were supposedly both males or both females. According to my wildlife expert father, they were same-sex rabbits. Well, no, they were not. And then the nightmare began.
That's crazy.
So the interesting thing about rabbits is they ovulate after they copulate. So anytime they have intercourse or breed,
Rabbit sex.
they ovulate. So that's why we see so many rabbits
That is
outside
insane.
because they are
Yeah.
guaranteed.
I like having them in my yard. I got them all over the yard. We get along just fine, me and the
Yeah.
rabbits in my yard.
We got quite a bit.
Yeah.
They tease my dogs. My dogs do not like them.
Well, your dogs are stupid.
Yeah, they can be. You're not wrong.
OMG, Dr. Andrea, you know what? Ashley's pregnant. Speaking of getting pregnant and whatnot.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Yeah, congrats.
Yeah, my dogs are starting to act weird.
Oh, yeah. They will sense that for sure.
Much more cleany.
Yep.
And they're not the
Really?
biggest fan of Dad. That's now all about me.
They sense that kind of a thing.
Oh, they do. Cats are even worse.
See, the cat doesn't seem to care, and I think that's because it wasn't my cat originally, so we don't really have that bond.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, she's kind of just like, whatever. Just pet me, please.
A listener wants to know if he's losing his mind. He says his golden lab's nose has changed color over time.
Yeah.
Okay, I've never
Very
heard
common,
of that.
just like sun exposure for people. So they lose their pigment on their nose.
Oh.
So it'll go pink or like a lighter gray kind of thing. Very
He
common.
says, okay, that's fascinating to me. He says when it was a little puppy, it was a cute little wet black nose, and now it's kind of brownish.
Yeah.
Okay.
Lose
Yeah.
pigment.
Yeah.
Male Hucker Jesus said they've got a lab mixed with a shepherd. She has really bloodshot eyes for the last week. What's up with that?
Well, I'd get it checked out. Sometimes they can have bloodshot eyes from glaucoma. They could also have like a little eye infection too. Could be allergies, but weird time of year. However, it's really dry out, so that could be a problem as well. But I get it checked out, especially if the dog's pawing at it, rubbing their eyes, and they're irritated.
Take a look.
Yep.
Here's the deal. Yes, Josh.
Just one. I'd imagine this will be quick. From Medical IT Sheezus. They have a cat who's been sneezing like crazy, not eating too much, puking sometimes. She said there's COVID in the house. Can a cat get COVID?
Oh.
So there are a couple studies that have identified they can transfer it, but I have yet to have seen it. It's possible, but there's no test to confirm it.
What about those other symptoms? What do you think? The sneezing, the puking, not eating?
Well, I'd get that looked at.
Get it looked at?
Yeah. It's probably unrelated to COVID.
Okay.
Yeah, that'd be something if they could.
Just be mindful, move out of their way, and just move on.
The 93X Half-Assed Morning Show.
All right, let's spend a little more time with our guest, Dr. Andrea Johnston, veterinarian from Gurman Animal Hospital, and allow our listeners to get a few more questions in on their pets. Now, Dr. Andrea, we have a question here about a cat who has become aggressive. 15-year-old cat that has recently started to become aggressive, and some of the details here are interesting. Makes biscuits aggressive with the.
I love when they do that.
Sure,
It's so cute.
It's fun. It's fun. It can be until the claws come out a little too far and they get you on the.
Scary.
Yeah. Okay. Aggressive biscuit making, loud meowing while that is happening. If the dog walks up, he goes after the dog. And then his little thing comes out, according to this listener.
I hate that.
Wow.
He licks it like crazy. Could this be this cat going senile? Is he stressed out? Is there something else that we need to worry about? What a combination there.
Yeah.
Biscuits.
It sounds like he's getting overstimulated for some reason. And cats are so interesting. Like, if they see something out the window, they'll redirect that aggression towards something in the house.
Mm-hmm.
You have to kind of go through get the cat looked at, get it weighed, make sure it's not losing weight, run lab work. That's all normal. It's most likely behavioral.
Mm-hmm.
But I'd get it checked out, thyroid disease, all those fun things we see in older cats.
15-year-old cat, maybe just like we do, we humans, when they get older, they just get crabby,
Possible.
get angry,
Yeah.
hate everything.
Don't female dogs get like that? I've always heard that they
get
tend
crabby
to get
in their-
crabby in
They
their old
say like
age.
the worst combo is 7-year-old female dogs.
Oh, yeah?
Really?
Middle-aged woman kind of thing.
I can't wait. I look forward to that.
Yeah, some of the older people in my life, everyone is stupid, and everyone's out to get them. Those seem to be the common denominator.
Out to get them,
that
yeah.
link the older people in my life.
That's good.
My dog loves peanuts in the shell. Can this be harmful?
Ooh, I bet that's not good for the guts.
Yeah, I mean, they can't digest it that well. I probably would do that in moderation.
God, when I was a kid, I would do that.
I would
love
too.
them.
I do.
I
It's
still
really
do.
salty and
so good.
Go to the ball game?
Yeah.
I love them.
Now I can't. My gut rot, the gut rot will send me to the emergency room again. But when I was a kid, I liked to eat peanuts smooth in the shell.
Yeah. I mean, I would just in moderation.
Yeah.
Okay.
Be careful with that.
Yeah.
Nothing to worry about.
This might be a listener who's missing a bag of dope. It says, I got a lab mixed with a German Shepherd. She has really bloodshot eyes the last week. What happened there?
Well, that's not a sign of marijuana toxicity.
No?
So,
What is a
no.
sign for a dog having marijuana?
I mean, they are gorked. I mean, they are just out of their mind, lethargic. Usually we know right away when we see them. Their heart rate's really off and low, and they just have to work through it.
Have you been seeing a lot more of that in the last
we
couple
see
of
it all the time.
Because pot is so popular now.
see it all the time.
Yeah.
Oh, getting into the weed gummies, I bet.
Yep.
Are there
Ooh, yeah.
ever
Are they cooler than dogs that don't do weed?
If a dog comes in wearing a Dare T-shirt, do you just mock them? Narc.
Are there ever any owners that like you can clearly tell that's what's going on with their pet, and they're like, no, what?
You know, it's
Could be me.
usually like the middle-aged people that come in with their dog who the dog got into like the kid's bedroom.
Oh no!
And then you have to actually be like, are you sure your kid doesn't have anything in there? And then you play that game a little bit.
That's
Like,
when you find out your 8th grade kid is on dope.
Yeah.
That would suck.
That's how you get busted.
Oh,
Yeah, I mean, how many dogs have alerted parents that kids were sexually active, for Christ's sake? Hauling the rubber out the bedroom, you know what I mean? I've heard those stories up and down. Dog walking through the kitchen with a rubber in its yap.
it's not right.
Terrible.
You know what's interesting? Actually, I was just reading an article on this because this is the time of year we see dogs go up to the cabin in the winter or in the springtime. They're in the car, they go up, they drink from the toilet because they're thirsty, right?
Yeah.
They get out of the car. And people put antifreeze in their toilet so they don't freeze over the winter.
Son of a bitch, that sounds bad.
Yeah, so then they drink it, and it can cause acute kidney failure and neurologic disease. The antidote, if you're up in the middle of nowhere and you need to get your dog treated, is vodka.
Oh, is that
No
right?
hell yeah.
way.
80 proof vodka. Just cheap
What?
Kharkov, whatever.
Just fill a dish with vodka or
I mean,
a
it's
shot?
It's
or,
like a mil per keg
Okay.
per dog. So I'd have to do the math. but
depending
you
on
can
the
look it up.
size of the dog.
Yeah, I mean, that's
Wow.
not like the main treatment, but if you're in the middle of the woods and your dog got into antifreeze in the garage or even
Wow.
at home and you need to, yeah.
Sure, I never thought about that, but you're right. That's what a lot of folks use as their gimmick to keep the pipes from freezing.
Yeah.
I remember when I was a kid, that's one of the first things our folks would say about the dog, you know, if it went into the garage. Get that friggin' antifreeze up off the floor of the garage. It'll kill them because it's sweet tasting
It
from
tastes
what
sweet.
Yeah,
Yep.
to the
Yep.
dog. Oh god.
That's so scary.
The antifreeze that shows up in a lot of Dateline episodes.
Really?
Have you noticed that? Actually,
Yep.
you watch. Yeah,
Yep.
the antifreeze. Somebody poisons a spouse with that.
Oh.
Slowly poisoned.
Take off, eh? Jesus said, can you please ask the doc about my dog's breathing? 11-year-old Great Pyrenees / Newfoundland mix.
Oh boy.
Sounds like he's snoring when he lays down and tries to breathe out. Goes away and then comes back.
Well, I'd make sure the dog's not overweight. Have a little like apnea type of situation there. But they can get something called laryngeal paralysis when they get older. So that larynx, when they breathe, doesn't open as far, and so you hear that kind of breathing.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Like a pug.
Totally.
Yeah.
My brother's got a pug, and it's hilarious.
Yeah.
I don't know how people sleep with pugs.
Especially,
either.
especially when she gets worked up, it's even more
Oh,
fun.
yeah. They just snort at you. They're fun. Oh, God. Cats with ear mites, Dr. Andrea. 4 cats can't get rid of the ear mites.
Yeah, treat them with Revolution. So it's a topical medication. And I would do several months of that. They all need to be treated.
Can you just go to like the PetSmart and get
You got to get it through your vet.
Okay.
Yeah, but it is a treatment for ear mites.
Speaking of cats, are baths too stressful for cats? Putting a cat in a bathtub.
I don't know many cats that like baths.
Oh, I had to give
They
some
don't need to
kittens
be
a bath
bathed.
once.
They groom themselves so well.
Okay.
But they don't need to be bathed.
All right.
One
fair
time I
enough.
had these kittens and they had fleas, so I had to get them in the bath. And I'm not a cat person. I didn't grow up with cats. I'll pet them, but they scare me a little. They've always scared me. And
Cats,
so one of the
wait a minute, cats in general just scare you?
Yeah, they're just, I don't know. They got the sharp claws. They're just very unpredictable.
Yeah, and then they generally don't like most of us.
No,
yeah, so actually, side note, they seem to like me more because I don't bother them, because I'm not all up in their face, so
Sure.
it backfires. But I try to give these kittens a bath, and of course, they latched onto my hand and, bit my wrist, and I ended up just, maybe tossing it 6 inches or so into the bath, and cats do not like bath water.
No, wasn't a fan.
I've never seen a cat freak out like that.
You know that cliche movie scene where a guy or a gal comes home from a long day of work and then they cut to the scene where they're in the shower with the water pouring over their head and they're just allowing the water to pour? You know what I'm talking about? I had a cat who, when you turn the faucet on, he would do that.
What?
Really?
Oh, I bet that looked so sad.
It did look kind of depressing. He would put his head under the running water and just let it pour over his head like he had a long day at the warehouse or something.
I had a cat like that too.
Yeah, he dug that vibe.
That's so cool.
This person has a 12-year-old female cat, short hair, very sensitive skin to the touch, losing small clumps of fur all over her back. And whenever we pet her, she'll lick that area violently.
So there is something called feline hyperesthesia syndrome, where it's like their nerves are just more sensitive. They twitch a lot, or they'll be very sensitive, specifically on their back. It's not really a direct treatment for it. Gabapentin sometimes works. I'd get that cat checked out for fleas and things like that, but I'm wondering if it's hyperesthesia.
This is great. I think you've saved a marriage, Dr. Andrea. Discussing that antifreeze vodka type of.
Great.
You could save. Dr. Andrea said you could possibly save a pet's life if it's ingested antifreeze. You could possibly save that dog's life with some vodka. Needs vitamin V, Jesus, whatever that means. Says, now I can tell my wife I have to keep vodka in the house in order to save our pet's life. Brilliant.
I'm not promoting it. I'm just saying.
That's really fascinating.
Yeah.
Here's someone that wants to get a dog and was looking for your advice on the easiest type of dog to maintain. What's the easiest one to take care of?
Wow. I mean, that's a tough one.
The answer is a cat.
I mean, I will say Cavalier King Charles Spaniels are really easy dogs if they don't have heart disease. They're known for heart disease, but other than that, they are very calm animals, really quiet, not aggressive.
Oh, those dogs are adorable.
They're very
yeah.
cute.
They are.
Yeah.
Very cute. Well, there you go. We appreciate your time as usual. Earlier, Ashley or Josh broke the news to Dr. Andrea. Ashley is pregnant.
Yep, baby in the belly.
Dr. Andrea, you got any old baby stuff you want to get rid of? This is your gal right here.
Yes. Although I didn't have boys.
Oh, right. I forgot you're having a boy ski, Ashley. That's right.
I've gotten some really nice stuff from people so far. Everybody wants to give me their stuff. Yeah. It's awesome, though.
Got to get rid of that stuff.
I love it. Thank you. Because that stuff is expensive.
Ashley, here's a text message that came in from Hooker Grandma Sheezes. Hooker Grandma. I was just listening to the podcast that Ashley announced she's pregnant. Congratulations. I'd love to crochet a baby blanket for her.
Oh, that's such a nice grandma thing to do.
I would love that.
That was really thoughtful.
I'd like to crochet a blanket for you.
I wish I knew how to do that kind of stuff. And I don't have the patience.
Maybe you will now that you're at home in a rocking chair.
Yeah, that's true.
That's true.
Grandma Ashley.
Yeah.
You're not going to have time for knitting.
I skip over Mom Ashley straight to Grandma Ashley.
Thanks again for everything, Dr. Andrea. Welcome back to town, we'll talk to you in a couple of weeks.
Perfect.
Excellent.
Thanks.
Happy birthday to Cho Cheese from Schwing. Happy birthday to Seabass Jesus, and see you tomorrow.
93X.
Hey, podcast listeners. Dana here. Can I let you guys in on a little secret? Just between us? We like all of you much, much more than the folks that listen live. But no matter how, when, or where you check out the Hams podcast, we got to give thanks to our friends at Standard Heating for making it all possible. It's been a pretty tame winter so far, but we know well enough that we're not out of the woods yet. So hit up standardheating.com to get them out to your house to make sure your furnace is tuned up to do all of the furnace-y types of things it's supposed to do. I'm still learning the lingo. Make that appointment today. Become a Smart Club member like me. That's standardheating.com.